Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the DTM Esports Series 2025. It is time for round number 5. My name is Luke Crane, and I am joined, of course, by Connery Maddock. Connery, how are you doing?
Very warm. I'm pretty sure everyone
that's
is in the UK at the moment is kind of dealing with it. I hear France and Spain are dealing with their particular heat issues as well. It is a very, very warm one at the moment, but not even the heat and humidity is going to stop us from enjoying some DTM esports.
Yeah, it is very warm in the UK, and UK has the different climate anywhere else in the world. It's hard here, guys. Okay, when it's 20 degrees here, it feels like it's 60 degrees. I don't know whether it's different or not. Who knows? Anyway, going from one thing that's hot to another thing that's very hot indeed. No, it's not me. It is the championship at hand, and oh boy, it is sizzling to a nice boil with 2 races to go. And today we are at the Red Bull Ring. But let's get all of the sort of not issues, but let's get all of the admin out of the way. Let's look at the calendar so you guys know exactly what's going to be happening this season. We've done Zandvoort, we've done RaceRoom, we've done Nürburgring, we've done the Sachsenring, but we've still got 2 rings to go. Red Bull Ring and Hockenheim Ring, the 2 tracks where they can actually overtake, which is wonderful for us, especially today's race, the Red Bull Ring, which is, of course, the 27th of June, which again is today. But let's check out then the timetable for today's action, because we will not have the DTM Esports Championship just yet. We've got a little sprinkle of joy because we've got the RaceRoom Community Cup as well happening for you, which is just absolutely bananas each and every week in the older DTM version of the cars. I'm not sure exactly which one we're using today, but we'll see that very, very shortly. We will have a 20-minute race, again, another qualifying session plus 20-minute time race. It is always bonkers. It is always fantastic, and it's always a chance to see who potentially we might see next season qualify, because there's a few superstars there that maybe didn't realize there was a qualifying process, and ultimately we're a little bit too late, but they are indeed getting their opportunity. Let's check out the entry list for today's championship as well. So this is for the DTM Esports. So we've got Tim Yarshall, Lucas Muller, who is the championship leader coming into this. Tim Yarshall is in 3rd. We've got Leonard Krippner there in the 44. Gianmarco Fiducci, Vil Craivi, Andika Ramat Maulana, Emre Chihan, Lloyd Bidolf. Then got Turka Hakkinen, Christian Mitchell, Philip Dreys, Ilya Trafozikov. We've then got Julian Kunzer, Nicholas Huben, Mikhail Alexandrinek. We've then got Enzo Filipao, Leonard Carton. We've then got Bence Banki. We've got Max Pfeiffer, Florian Hasser, Christian Juhas, Patrick Jari, Bo Dixon, Luciano Whitford. Then got Alessandro Ottaviani, Julian Klaffenberg, Kaj de Bruin. We've then got Peter Berliak, Isaac Price, who's 2nd in the championship by 11 points now, Manuel Vera Carmona, who has been arguably the most supported driver on all of our broadcasts or in the chat, so great to see him here. Roland Sen, who's making his 2nd appearance, and Marvin Mackenberg, who is also making his 2nd appearance in the championship. Let's check out, though, the past champions. So this is what they're trying to get themselves onto, the list of past champions. Of course, Moritz Lohner won in 2020 for Williams Esports. Kevin Siggy was the winner for Team Redline in 2022, and then probably the most impressive out of all of them, and I say that every single time, is Tim Yarshall, because he had to beat Moritz Lohner and he had to beat Kevin Siggy in 2024 to become champion. 2 of them look very happy there. Tim Yarshall's like, yeah, I'm not really happy with 1 championship. I need to go for 2. And that's why he is 3rd so far this season. Let's check out then the BOP for the DTM Esports Championship. So there we go. The balance of performance. Ferrari has got plus 12 kilograms. The Porsche's got plus 35. The McLaren, which has only got 1 driver, that's Isaac Price, he's got 0 kilograms added. Same as the BMW. Lamborghini Huracan's got plus 15, and Mercedes AMG plus 4. So, yeah, the Porsche has had a lot of weight added to it. Whether that has an effect or not, I would imagine it has a bit more of an effect in terms of tyre wear. But let's check out then. Oh, also, actually, the Porsche and Mercedes have a restrictor of 99%, and the BMW has a restrictor of 99.5%. I missed that. Let's check out then the car selection, so see how many people have chosen which car. So 9 people have chosen the Ferrari 296. The 296 Evo was actually announced this week, wasn't it? A beautiful looking car. Porsche 911 GT3, 10 of those have been chosen. McLaren 720S, only 1 driver in the McLaren. BMW has got 8 drivers. Lamborghini Huracan's got 3, and then the Mercedes AMG has 1 driver. But let's check out the standings of the championship. This is brilliant for Connery. Connery just gets to sit here for like 10 minutes listening to me lose my voice. Just fantastic each and every week. But Connery is doing all of the switching in the background. So, you know, I get to just read what's on the screen. Lucas Muller is the championship leader, and he took the championship lead in round number 4. and probably the 1 month gap was not ideal for him. He probably would have wanted to keep going week in, week out, but he's had a whole month to mull over it. Isaac Price is in second position on 173 points. Tim Yarshall 10 points further back, so a 21-point lead to his teammate has Lucas Muller got. Is that now the opportunity for the team to sort of back Lucas, or is Tim still going to fight for this championship? That remains to be seen. Florian Hasser on 157, and then 144 for Leonard Krippner, 138 for Philip Dreys, and then Gianmarco Fiducci is on 131, and then with a really outside chance, Alessandro Ottaviani on 124. But only the top 8 realistically can win the championship from this point onwards. Right, that's enough of me talking. Let's go and check out the DTM highlights from Zandvoort.
Beach bank turns, spectacular races. The weekend in Zandvoort was a real treat.
Coming up the hill, much better traction. This is going to be brave, and he goes through it.
Mega crazy race. A bit chaotic, no?
Local hero Maurice Schuring in the middle of it all. The DTM rookie risked everything for a podium finish on Saturday in front of his home fans.
Under attack here from the bright orange Porsche. Going out onto the grass goes Maurice Schuring. He's going to lose 1, 2, maybe 3 places here.
6th place in the end, still his best result this year. The strong Anchan Nguyen took the win, conquering the wet conditions. Things went better for Morris in the simulator in the fan zone. The Manthai driver came 3rd out of 7 fans who qualified for a virtual race against the professional.
I enjoyed it a lot. I think it's great that the DTM is doing this, and it was really nice to race against them.
The first foreign stop of the season was characterised by records and milestones. René Rast took his 26th DTM pole, making him the sole record holder ahead of Bernd Schneider. I've just congratulated him. I'm very happy for him. In the past, there was only one qualifying session, and the starting grid for the second race was the result of the first. So it was no surprise that it happened. But he's a mega driver, one of the best we have in the DTM.
Yeah, it's an incredible achievement. I mean, almost 10 years ago, my first race was here in Zandvoort 2016. And I was just dreaming about becoming a DTM driver those days, and now being here as a record holder of pole positions, DTM history is incredible, and obviously I've never expected something like that.
In Sunday's race, Rast left nothing to chance and turned his good starting position into a victory.
Whoa, well done, René.
His teammate Marco Wittmann also had a few reasons to celebrate. The man from Fjord contested his 200th DTM race in total, putting him in 7th place in the eternal statistics of the Cult Racing Series.
Being there since 2013 is, I think, something very special. Makes me very proud.
He also sent his team into euphoria with 2nd place at the anniversary. Double victory for Schubert Motorsports.
To finish 1-2 for the Team Schubert for BMW, it's just an amazing Sunday.
After 3 DTM race weekends, the series is more spectacular than ever. It continues at the Norris Ring at the beginning of July.
Hi, my name is Maurice Schuring, DTM driver for Manthai. My lap time of Beat the Pro Challenge in Zandvoort is just now on the list. Try to beat it at home. The fastest 5 will get to race with me at the Zandvoort event, so I really hope to see you there. And good luck.
Well, there you go, guys. Lots of highlights and stuff. But something that you guys can do from home is race in the Nürburgring 2.4 hour, which is on July the 6th, 2025. So you just literally go into RaceRoom and you can go and get yourself involved in that. And I must say, I love the Nürburgring track in RaceRoom because as you're driving around, you can actually hear the fans having their barbecues and their discos, and there's like proper like techno music playing all around the track. It's actually quite funny. I don't know if you've ever seen that or heard that, Connery, but yeah, everywhere you go around here where the fans are, you can actually hear like music in the back. It's really cool. So yeah, something a little bit different. Right, anyway, to today's track then. Let's check out the track information about the Red Bull Ring, shall we?
Just give it a moment. I did just want to make a more another comment on the Nürburgring 24. 2.4, shall we say? It's not the full 24 hours, but still should be a fantastic event. And doing that actually, Luke, is quite grueling in a sense, right? Because I mean, any stint, any race at the Nürburgring really is quite grueling. But to do the whole sort of like, but to do these sorts of events at such a race distance is still a very, very tough thing to do, and that's such a tricky circuit as well. It's definitely one to really, really get yourself involved in because I feel it is that ultimate challenge in racing, in sim racing, our endurance races at the Nürburgring. So definitely, if you are around and on RaceRoom, then please do make sure that you get yourself involved in the 2.4 hours of the Nürburgring because it is a very, very fun event.
Lots of fantastic points made there, Connery. I assume that you forgot to put the track information in for this week. But I'm not calling you out. I'm not calling you out at all. Here we go. It's the Red Bull Ring. Am I right, though? Am I right? Sorry, Connery. I had to. Number of corners, 10. I think there's 9. How many do you think there are, Connery?
How long's a piece of string? The official track map that is on Wikipedia, which is an authoritative source, of course, says 10. So I'll go with the crowdsourced solution.
Right, copy that. Well, I'm saying 9. That turn, there's no turn between turn 1 and up to Remus, which is apparently turn 3. Anyway, 4.3 kilometers long, but it goes in an absolute flash. You blink and you miss it. 2 races today. We've got 20 minutes and 30 minutes. Technically, we've got 3, actually. We've got a 20-minute race, which is the Community Cup, which is happening right now, or will be happening very, very shortly. And yeah, so there should be a real fun time. The fastest time ever around here was Sheldon van der Linde in 2023 in the Schubert Motorsport BMW M4 GT3. Right, Community Cup time. Here we go. Let's have a look at what we've got in store for you. It is racing action at the Red Bull Ring. This race is always absolutely fantastic, by the way. And they are in the I'm going to guess here, the 2019? Yes.
Almost.
2018, isn't it?
Try again. Oh, one later.
Oh, 2020. Okay, well, I was 1 year out to start off with. And are there any new names up here? We got Lorenz, who has raced before, but this is the first time we've seen him right at the sharp end, I think. Ribeiro, of course, is back. Braun is back. Evtushenko's back. Berkes is back. We've got Sven Mackenberg, his brother Marvin, is going to be racing in the DTM Esports. We've got Lichtenhagen. Back in. Eleveld is new into this. Percy is back, of course. Eifert. Luckily, there's an E in there because that could have been a different name. We've then got Tiefenbacher, who's just been overtaken by Gretchen. What have we got? Kratochville is a new name. Jaschke is a new name as well. Strategis is new. Dautzenberg, that is a very German name. Followed by Wolf, which is also a very German name. Followed by Herzog and Graceman. We've got Yauchin. Vignaroli is the first time we've seen him, I think. Phantom as well. So there's a few new names in this, but it is Lorenz who is currently a 10th of a second clear of everybody. And this is going to be an interesting race today, Connery, because whenever they bring the newer cars, or not the newer cars, but the Class 1 cars out there, tyre wear is a huge factor. And the drop-off, if they push too hard, especially around a circuit like this where the exits are so quick, it's so significant to drop off.
Yeah, absolutely. It is such a short race, however, that does not seem to matter when it comes to the tyre wear that you can experience on these cars. So it's going to be very much a struggle towards the back end of these races, in these cars, to get yourself out of those traction zones. And of course, there are many of them at this circuit. But it's going to be an intriguing one, that's for sure. If I wanted to be a little bit controversial, I suppose, this was definitely perhaps the most fun, or at least one of the more fun periods of DTM. But the GT3s I feel are a little bit too safe, a little bit too forgiving. These cars were absolute beasts, though.
Yeah, no, they are absolute beasts indeed. It's just a beautiful era of DTM. Not to say that it's not beautiful now, but this was very, very special indeed. And we actually just saw that Marco Wittmann, who has just done his 200th DTM race at Zandvoort, he was taking part in all of this era from 2013 onwards. Also, Gamer Muscle has just raided my channel during this. This is DTM Esports, so thank you for that, Gamer Muscle. Big shout out to Mr. Gamer Muscle. Great to see him. We've got Bread and Watered in here as well. Styles, Binsey, Baffrage is watching as well. Get your hellos in the chat, guys. Say hello. Get yourselves involved. We're about to have the first race. So if you've literally just joined, we have got 3 races tonight. This is the Community Cup. See, this is like the Division 2 of DTM Esports, where we use older cars. There's a time trial each and every round of the series where people can sign up and get themselves involved in the broadcast. And then we have 2 races. We have the first race, which is 20 minutes for the DTM Esports in the current cars or last season's version of the car in RaceRoom. So the first race is 20 minutes, a sprint race. Second race is 30 minutes with a mandatory pit stop in the middle. So hopefully that helped you out there, ladies and gentle cars. But yes, we are about to get ourselves involved in a community race, which is always absolute bananas. Here we go, 20 minutes of racing action for the community race here. There are 755 DTM cars on the grid. There are the red lights appearing on your screen. We're about to go green, and we are off, and we're running down towards turn number 1, and there's a few cars already facing in the wrong way. And I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that is not a good thing. As we see a potential move up the inside. Ribeiro, the Portuguese driver, does send one, as we see more cars facing around the wrong way, and there's other drivers trying to get through the melee, trying to get through the smoke. Oh, the number 22 there has just been absolutely shot into the wall, and that again is not good. The front 3 though, separated by absolutely nothing. You can cover them with a loincloth, as we're about to see potentially the 3rd different race leader of this race. Evtushenko momentarily gets up ahead. Ribeiro's got the outside line. We'll have that momentum down towards turn number 4, which officially for me is turn number 3, and it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top here. So Lorenz was pole, he loses out to Ribeiro, and then Ribeiro loses out to Evtushenko, and now Ribeiro's back into the lead. What an incredible race start.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolute chaos happening in behind, though, with the mid-pack and back. There was an instant off of the initial start, then an instant coming out of turn number 1 as well. So, yeah, big problems. And actually, we haven't seen that many big problems so far in this Community Cup season. It's all been a relatively calm affair at the very start of these sorts of races. So this one is a little bit of an anomaly, with a couple of cars having major issues very early on.
Well, they've made up for it this race, that's for sure, because there was cars facing the wrong way before we'd even got up to the start-finish line. And I can tell you one thing right now. If you sign up for a race and you put a lot of preparation in and you do not make it to the start-finish line, well, you've only got yourself to blame most of the time. But there's a couple of drivers that just couldn't really avoid it. One thing I will note with this car, there is DRS as well. So, yeah, ultimately, that is going to be interesting when these drivers can use it. I believe they can use it all of the time, as we see a potential move then round the outside. Evtushenko is going to go the long way round up towards turn number 3, then tries to pinch Ribeiro onto the apex there, does just about do so, trying to get the car off of the acceleration zone. So tough to do so. The rear dancing around like it's Strictly Come Dancing, and ultimately he's going to lose out there. Ribeiro's going to hold on, and Lorenz is just watching this very patiently there. Very late turning from Ribeiro, which is very clever because Evtushenko cannot keep it side by side, and all of a sudden Braun is involved now as the front 3 becomes 4.
Yeah, Braun really capitalizing on the last couple of moments of the front couple of cars getting themselves wheel to wheel, and actually Braun going to be making a move here on Maximilian Lorenz coming up through this sweeping sector, and has he just about been able to get the pass done? No, there's still a little bit of an overlap, bit of contact between the two, more contact between the two as both of them go spinning off there. Oh my word, that's not how they would have wanted that to end. It's been an incident-ridden first couple of laps here at the Red Bull Ring.
Yeah, there's no brains versus Braun there. He just had to give that up, I'm afraid. That is not on Braun whatsoever. Yeah, Lorenz has just been greedy. He's been beaten there, and then he's in behind, and he's just tagged the rear, unfortunately, and they've both then ended up facing the wrong way. And in a race that's still got 17 minutes to go, yeah, you just can't be doing stuff like that. As we're on board then, we momentarily were on board with Tiefenbacher Bakker in behind Berquez. Front 2 now are clear, and off they go. But look at this. This is like the fastest formation lap in the world. They are 2 by 2 going up towards turn number 3. Move being made by Lichtenhagen, I believe. Kratashvili is going to make a move up. Eifert's going to drop down. Yeah, he's going slow there in the background. Then we've got that number 62 making a potential move as well. Reed then's going to send it down the inside in towards turn number 4. Would he get the job done? He does. Oh, that's Kratochvil can think himself very lucky there that he did not go spinning, because he turned in with a little bit too much power going through the drivetrain, and just out keeps it going. All of a sudden, Sven Mackenberg, who was miles down the order, is up to 9th position, so just keeping himself out of trouble at this point and moving up the order. It's a frantic race here. We've still got 16 minutes to go.
Yep, indeed, and it just goes to show how much side-by-side action these cars promote. Definitely more than the current crop of GT3s that we have at the moment in the main season, but we'll get to that in just a little bit as we see the top 2 head their way up in towards turn number 1. Ribeiro and Evtushenko have sort of been left all in their lonesome after the incident that we saw a little bit earlier on. A bit of the gaggle cars in behind coming out of turn number 1 here as well, as things have started to calm down a little bit here at the very front of the field, but it feels like also the mid-pack has been shuffled quite a bit, considering the incidents that we've had already. Good grouping of 3 cars here with Phantom, with Yashka, with Yelchin as well involved in this one. Oh, big squeeze there as the battle for 16th is on.
Oh, big send there. Yashka's going to just about hold on there and sweep it up the inside, but some big losses also just in behind, and now they're off to chase down. Oh, hold on, he's just he must have taken a slowdown there on the exit of turn number 3. He ran a little bit deep, I guess. Leaves the door open, and you don't really need to leave the door open too wide for someone to send their nose in this Community Cup today. And it looks like the door has been closed just as quickly. Let's talk about the leaders here. Evtushenko has got the fastest lap of this race, 6/10 behind. He's clever here. He can use that DRS to stay behind Ribeiro, force Ribeiro to really drive or overdrive the car, let's say, and then in the last sort of 5 minutes with the better tyres, pick him off, because he's got no real pressure from behind. 2.9 seconds the difference between 1st and 3rd right now. 2.3 seconds from 2nd to 3rd. So if Evtushenko's got the pace to stick with the leader, again with DRS assistance, there's a world here where he just looks after those tyres and picks them off at the end here.
Yeah, I mean, potentially we'll ride on board with him as he chases down the race leader here at the moment. It's going to be a very strategic race between the 2 of them here at the moment. It's yes, there's no strategy in terms of pit stops in the Community Cup race, but there's strategy in terms of trying to pick apart your opponent, know where they're strong, know where they're weak, and try and formulate a plan from there, especially considering you have the push to pass and of course the DRS involved in this as well. So you've got to be a little bit creative about it. These 2 relatively equal in terms of pace.
Yeah, they are. And as much as I said to Evtushenko, he just needs to sort of chill behind. His driving style is saying very different to that. He is crossing over at the exit of every single corner, which is not good. I can assure you that right now. It is not good. It's going to hurt those tyres. Especially when you're trying to get that power down, but it just goes to show how fast Ribeiro is able to go. I think Evtushenko, once he loses the slipstream here, he's going to be in a bit of trouble. So Ribeiro doing a very nice job right now, and actually they're both extending the gap over Berkes. Tiefenbacher is also a little bit further back now from Berkes. They've got Lichtenhagen, who might be closing up to Tiefenbacher. Whitmer's is just a little bit further back. Ree is close behind. Kratochvil then is a little bit closer behind as well. Mackenberg sort of ends that top 9. Wolf being the last driver in the top 10, and there you go. That's the difference. You can see that the DRS has a huge effect here. And if you're Evtushenko, if you know you can catch up that quickly, just get on the brakes a little bit earlier. Look after those tyres. Your car's swirling all around. You know how difficult it is to get the power down. Just force the car in front to just overdrive and then pick them off later in this race. Tyre wear is a huge factor.
It really is, and again, with the amount of these cars are wiggling around, that's just going to chew up the tyres even more and cause a bigger issue towards the end of this event. So Evtushenko, yeah, he does have to be a little careful here, not to put too much heat into that rubber, so he actually has something to fight with for the end of this event. And well, same applies to Ribeiro, but on the defensive there as well. But we'll just take this little bit of a lull in the leading fight to just take a look back at what's happening elsewhere. We've got Alpha, the top 10, well, the bottom end of the top 10 here, with Andreas Wolf trying to fend off Dretzenberg, with Braun, with Gretschel involved in this one as well. It's great to see Braun has been able to recover somewhat up in towards a P12 here at the moment, and more cars for the pickings further down the line as well, especially as Dretzenberg goes that far wide.
That is a very expensive lawnmower on the screen there, as the number 10 sort of slips off there, potentially going to be overtaken. as we come up towards turn number 1. And yes, it is Gretschel trying to make a move on Doutsenberg. Doutsenberg, maybe one of my favorite names that I've ever had to say in sim racing. As we come out of the exit turn number 3 there, Evtushenko is right on the pipe of Ribeiro. As we head down towards turn number 4. A little bit of door banger between the two of them. Evtushenko's very late on the brakes, gets across the bonnet. That is delicious. That is a beautiful move there. Just really takes a huge chance on Ribeiro, sort of turning him around. But ultimately, Ribeiro has to get out of it, get on the brakes a little bit harder than he normally would. And Evtushenko up into the lead. Well done. Woo.
And the slide there from Ribeiro drops him off the back even more. But yeah, that was a lovely move from Alexei Evtushenko. Just a commitment around the outside there. It was just, it looked picture perfect, didn't it? There was no drama in it whatsoever, no locking of brakes, no sliding whatsoever. Just commitment around the outside, swing in, take the position. That's lovely.
Yeah, well, his car's been looking like a box of frogs on the rear, on the exit of every corner. Then all of a sudden produces something like that. That was outstanding from Mr. Evtushenko, the Russian up into P1. As someone's facing the wrong way for sure. Yeah, they're in a wall there. Not sure exactly who that is, but I can tell you now that is slow. Oh, that is. Oh no, there's no bonnet on that car. There's no front on that car. Luckily, it's sim racing, so we know the driver is going to be okay. We're not going to need the marshals to recover that car. But oh, lovely view there. It's a nice new camera angle of the final corner, the exit. Perfect. And there we go. It's gone again. Yeah, that's just unfortunate as we see a potential move being made up the inside. Is Whitmer's going to be able to Whitmer's trying to overtake Kratochvil. The Czech driver gets a lovely drive on the exit. It looked like it was almost done and dusted there for Whitmer's. But yeah, Kratochvil is going to hold on as we run down towards turn number 4. My old man's watching as well. My dad is in the chat, so shout out to my dad. That is Big Engine guys. As Ribeiro is now back ahead of Evtushenko. And these two have had a fair few battles this season, and for the most part, it's been pretty clean.
Yeah, it really has. Although I get the feeling, Luke, that you might have risked jinxing it there. You know, because the commentator goes,
no,
you do.
We don't worry about that sort of stuff. I can tell you one thing now, these drivers aren't listening to us, so it doesn't matter. And if they watch it later on, and they're like, yeah, it's because he said that, well, they're wrong. Anyway, across the line we went. Ribeiro, 0.4 of a second in the lead. Still fastest lap to Evtushenko. A little bit further back is Burkes. Burkes is starting to close that gap, by the way. It's only 3 seconds. It went out to about 4.8 seconds at one point. So we now run down towards turn 3. Now down in towards turn 2, as they call it. Up in towards turn number 3. Evtushenko, again, getting a lot of overspeed. Has the outside line. Is he going to try to cut back? Well, he's going to try to cut back, and as you can see there, Ribeiro really starting to lean on those tyres a bit too much. And this is what I said, Evtushenko, has he played this perfectly? Has he forced Ribeiro to burn those tyres out? And basically, it'd be like taking candy from a baby. He does the identical move down in towards turn number 4. And it was impressive the first time. The second time it happens, you kind of think Ribeiro's probably let that happen. He's now got a bit of an overlap as we come in towards the midsection of this beautiful circuit in the Styrian region in Austria. And he's trying to force Evtushenko to run a little bit wide, but Evtushenko, it has got it hooked up, and Ribeiro's got to live the fight another day. Oh, this is a lovely battle for the lead. Meanwhile, Burkes has taken 1/10 of a second out of them. Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Oh, down the inside of the final turn. That's a bit of an optimistic one there from Ribeiro, but he decides against it and stays in line. And goes. Oh, you did jinx it. Silly, you did jinx it, Luke. No, my word, Ribeiro pointed in the wrong direction.
Nothing to do with me. Don't know what you're talking about. But that is silly from Ribeiro. He's got no one to blame other than himself. Didn't need to make that move. It was desperate. And yeah, ultimately, Evtushenko now has got a clear run to the checkered flag, although Burkes seems to be the faster out of the drivers. We'll see how this goes now. Evtushenko's got a clear track to work with, and he's not going to be battling with anybody as to whether Burkes can catch up. But yeah, we've seen it from Ribeiro, and we've also seen it from Braun, and we also saw it from Lorenz, didn't we, at the start of this race? Some of the leaders just sort of taking a few too many chances, and ultimately it ruins their race.
Well, look, I'm not entirely sure what the rush was there, really, on the part of Ribeiro.
That's Evtushenko. He's the Russian, not the... Oh, I see what you're saying.
No, in terms of the optimistic movement.
I'm totally Connery.
Either way, just let me make my point. As with Ribeiro, again, I'm not entirely sure what the premise behind that move was, because we had 7.5 minutes left at the time. He was in behind, has the DRS for more obvious opportunities going down into braking zones. I'm not exactly sure what the rush is, trying to get that done at the final turn. It seemed like way too premature for me.
Yeah, I want to throw something out there. You know, I like to say there's always a Hungarian. There's a Hungarian right now, P2, absolutely flying. 6 minutes 30 seconds left on the clock, and the gap's come down to 2.2 seconds. So that's 0.6 of a second taken out on this lap. Evtushenko, of course, was fighting with Ribeiro for about 3 or 4 laps where they were taking not the ideal line around this circuit. And is that an opportunity now? Has Berkes found a bit of pace where he's looked after the tyres as well? And maybe close up and have a fight for the lead. But as we go through the mid part of the circuit, it's back up to 3.1. So, yeah, not too sure exactly what's happening there. As we see a potential move up the inside, not going to work out. And they are going to go through their normal service resumed.
Yeah, both of them having DRS here between Kratcheville and Wittmers. Battle for P6 and 7 on track out there today. And, well, in behind Sven Mackenberg and Frida Braun. Excuse me, we're very, very close with the DRS down into the braking zone there as well. So the DRS keeping drivers together. Jaschke in a little bit of a side-by-side duel here with Gretschel, as Gretschel tries to sweep around the outside there, does get it done, has to try and cover off the line as Jaschke dives it in deep, almost running into the back bumper of the car ahead, but they don't make contact at all, and everything is clean coming through there in this 4-car pack.
Yeah, Gretschel there managing to hold on, and Hansel will be happy with that, that's for certain, later on today. As we head around the final corner. Oh, that's a line. That's a very interesting line there.
That is a line.
Yeah, it's twice now we've seen cars go out that far wide, and again, you know, that is a very expensive lawnmower, as I said previously, then running up through turn number 1. 4 minutes to go, or just under 5 minutes to go, and Berkes has slowed up for sure now. And actually, you look at Ribeiro just done the fastest lap of the race. He's the driver to watch as pursuit for P2, closing in at a rate of knots. We see a potential move up the inside. We're on board with Jaschke. It's going to try and go up the inside of Muller. Muller gets the outside line. We'll get the power down earlier, and we are good to go.
But he's doing your best Eurovision impression.
I've not watched Eurovision since I was a child.
Anyway, so yeah, it's maybe that one fell a bit flat. Like most Eurovision singers. There we go. As Jaschke battling it out there with Max Müller. Müller still holding on. There's still an overlap on the inside here coming through the middle sector, but that will swiftly be covered off by Müller as he maintains his 13th place.
Yeah, if you hello. Oh God, that's another line. Yeah, if you've just joined, ladies and gentlemen, this is the DTM Esports, but this is the Community Cup as we see a potential move around the outside. Jaschke and Muller having a hell of a battle here. Muller nearly got back ahead. I think he is going to end up getting back ahead here. Needs to leave the room around the outside. And Jaschke is going to commit fully round the outside. And with that momentum, by the time they come up towards turn number 1, should probably get it nailed. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you race. We've seen some poor racing near the front, but that was absolutely delicious. A shout out to Jaschke and indeed Muller. Brilliant stuff, although Muller has fallen back a little bit. If you've just joined, ladies and gentlemen, we are doing DTM Esports right now. This is round number 5, but this is the Community Cup. So this is a time trial where anybody can sign up for this. There's still one more event to go this year where people can get involved in that. But this is the Community Cup. So, yeah, this is like a warm-up before the main event. And then we have 32 of the very best sim racers on RaceRoom. As we see him move around the outside there, Kratochville has to pinch him onto the apex. Can he get the run round the outside again? No, he cannot. He gets squeezed out wide. And by the time they come into the middle part of the circuit, yeah, he's going to be pretty golden here as Wittmers. Wittmers is going to hang on. But yeah, we have 2 races coming for you very, very quickly. Well, literally as soon as this race is over, to be fair, where we're going to be looking at those 32 drivers racing around the Red Bull Ring. 20-minute sprint race and then a 30-minute feature race with a pit stop in the middle where they have to change all 4 tyres. So, yeah, there you go. My dad's with you, by the way, Connery. He's saying, what's wrong with Eurovision? I just don't watch it. You know, just don't watch it.
Yeah, it was interesting this year. Let's just say that.
Copy that.
Spoilers ahead, but obviously the who was it? It was the Austrian one that won, wasn't it? Yeah, it was quite nice. I rated it quite highly. But we won't make this a Eurovision podcast, especially as it'll be very one-sided.
Yeah, I think the last time I watched was an Austrian one. It was that bearded singer.
The drag act, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. They won.
Yeah.
So that's how long ago it was when I last watched it. Oh, there we go. Off we go.
Oh.
Oh no, they saved it. What? Kratochville saved that.
Yeah.
That was done. He was over. As we're about to see Sven Mackenberg, who's been the most patient driver on the grid, make his way now up to what is P7. Although he's about to be sent here, he is going to be sent. Braun who has been involved in an incident already, which wasn't his fault. And actually, to be fair, that's a really nice move. Yeah, he realised that Mackenberg was going to run a little bit deep and sort of picked his pocket a touch there. Up to P7 for Braun after, battling for the lead of this race at the start.
Yeah, so, fantastic fighting going on out there, especially in this sort of bottom end of the top 10. We are keeping a close eye on the gaps at the front of the field. Evtushenko has been maintaining the race lead quite well here, but the battle is on for second.
Yeah, and is this the final lap of the race? What are the lap times looking like?
We are 120-ish. 119,
yeah, this could be the last lap of the race, and I think it actually probably will be the last lap of this race. And Evtushenko looks like he's got it done as Ribeiro sends one up the inside. And Berquez, he did not have the tyres there at all. He did not have the tyres there at all to defend that. And actually, he's quite lucky that he stayed in a podium position, to be honest. As we run then down towards turn number 4. Here is your race leader, Evtushenko, who has been in the fight for race wins pretty much every week, Connery. I don't believe Evtushenko's won one yet, though. So this is actually another race winner, and I think that's 5 from 5, if I'm right.
Yeah, so it's an impressive run, that's for sure. And
that's 5 different drivers here, right?
Sweepers now. Yeah, it is.
The Community Cup never fails us. That is going to be 5 different winners from 5 different weeks. Ribeiro's won one as well. I'm looking down the list here. I don't think there's anyone else in the list actually that's managed to win one this year. As we go round the final corner, it is going to be the checker flag. So that is the race done and dusted, and it is the win for Mr. Evtushenko. Congratulations to Evtushenko. Ribeiro did close the gap in the end, but he finishes 2 seconds drift. Berquez does finish in 3rd as now we get a cluster of cars. Oh, look at this for a battle. Oh, big contact. Big dooring there, and I'll tell you what, I wonder if Muller is... Oh, he's not. Doutsenberg. It looked like he might be able to hold on to that. It didn't quite work out. He got completely doored out wide. That was just a little bit naughty. I wonder if he might just give him a little tap in the pipe. No, he doesn't. So we're on board then with Spiegel, coming around that final corner. And job is a good one. Right, there we go. Done and dusted. Waiting for the race results to pop up on your screen, ladies and gentlemen, cars. And then we are going to move into the main event, which is the DTM Esports Championship. There we go. So Alexei Evtushenko is the race winner. Thomas Ribeiro, Cornel Berquez. Then got Hendrik Lichtenhagen, Patrick Tiefenbacher. Then got Vincent Wittmers. We've got Frieda Braun, Sven Mackenberg, Jiri Kratachvili. We've then got Andreas Wolf as your top 10. Then we've got Emo Jaska, we've got Dirk Gretschel, Max Muller, Niels Doutsenberg, we've got then Oktay Yalchin, Mike Schmidt, then we've got Andrea Percy, Philip Spiegel, we've got Tristan Eifert and Stefan Schreiner. Then we've got Theo Herzog, Dominic Eickhoff, we've then got Maximilian Lorenz, Nico Strategis, we've then got Timo Graceman, then got Marcel Sen, Carlo Vignaroli, Tobias Eleveld, Tonio Phantom, and Sebastian Ree. They are all DNFs, the final 4 there. And I believe there's a couple more DNFs that will be following them, because I believe that's 32 on the grid, maybe 31. No, that was it, 30 drivers. So that is the official results there. Connery, oh my God, that was wild. Absolutely wild.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's just what we come to expect from this sort of era of cars, as I was saying. The DRS keeping them close together, then the push to pass giving that final sort of opportunity to get alongside and make something happen into a braking zone. It's definitely great in terms of the overtaking that we got. Of course, we'll have to see if this is replicated into our main DTM Esports races for this evening. Of course, they'll be in the GT3 cars, maybe a little bit more tricky to get yourself alongside in those, but it's still got these long straights into the heavy braking zones, which we'd love to see here in terms of promoting that side-by-side action. So I hope of pretty much any track on this season, apart from maybe Hockenheimring, this is going to be the one where we see the most action.
I believe so as well, and that is what we're going to head to now, because as usual, the Community Cup drivers haven't bothered to come and get an interview with us. So yeah, we're just going to head straight into DTM Esports. But the beautiful thing about that is, if you've not watched this before, and maybe if you have, but you want a little refresher, we've got a little highlights package from the last round. So let's check that up, and then we're heading to the formalities for round 5. teammates on the front row. Then it's round 4. Sprint race for the DTM Esports 2025. We're about to go green light racing here at the Sachsenring. And who will take the #1 spot down towards turn #1? Here we go, we're off and we are running. And Tim Yarshall takes them away. It's a great start, by the way, from Fiducci. And look at that McLaren. The McLaren is absolutely flying down towards turn #1. Is there some argy-bargy into turn 1? There is. And I tell you what, Isaac Price might end up in 5th position here. Although there's 2 Ferraris that are having a bit of contact with each other there. They're going to have to do some tests later on to figure out who the father might be. And actually, it's still going on now. The Hymo car is going to get tracked out wide. And Isaac does move 9th up into 5th position. Tim Yarshall, though, does hold the lead. He's 2 tenths clear of Dreys. And Lucas Muller, championship leader, has dropped 2 spots. He's now in 4th. Now, he's about to add a hat-trick. It's 3 races this season from Tim Yarshall. I'm not sure we're going to see too much of a celebration because he knows that to win this championship, he has a job to do. But congratulations must go to the way of our reigning champ. Congratulations, Tim Yarshall. Tim Yarshall on the left-hand side of your screen. On the right-hand side is Lucas Muller. Teammates, but they're battling for a championship against each other. We're about to go green light racing here at the Sachsenring. We're off and we're running. It's some great stuff from Tim Yarshall. And I tell you what, Florian Hasser has got the run here for a potential P2. He's got the inside line here. Lucas Muller, though, will have, of course, fresh tyres, as does everyone else, so can keep his foot down. But just, don't get involved there. He's going to lose positions now for sure. And I think you'll find that Leonard Krippner is probably going to back out of that because he hasn't really he's got a chance of winning the championship, but it's a very slim chance, and he'll probably let Lucas Muller just drive off within the distance. Yarshall, Hasser will follow suit. Lucas Muller will probably follow suit as well. Are we seeing any? Oh, well, Isaac Price has stayed out, and so has Gianmarco Fiducci. And if he's anywhere near Isaac Price, this might work out well. I tell you what, he's lost out, but not by as much as I thought he would.
Fiducci.
Yeah, but what is going on here with Fiducci?
Oh dear.
What is going on with Fiducci? Yeah, he must have had a slowdown of some sort somewhere. He's just pretty much parked it on the racing line.
Yeah,
very up there.
He had track limits
there you go.
infringements. That was about a minute ago.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. He's still losing
still
time.
Still trying to get rid of it, I think. None more so than this man here. It's going to be 4 wins this season for Tim Yarshall. Our reigning champion is starting to close that gap to his teammate, Lucas Muller. And there it is. There is a bit of emotion. The first race was, I know, I needed to do that. Second race was, no, I've done it now. I'm good. Now I can really make a run for this championship. 4 races, 2 rounds to go. There you go, an abrupt ending there. But Tim Yarshall, who is our reigning champion, got a double win last time out. And he pushed himself to within 21 points of his teammate, Lucas Muller. But they are indeed the bread of an Isaac Price sandwich, who is in the sole McLaren on the grid, the bright papaya orange McLaren. And he finds himself 11 points behind behind Lucas Muller. So lots of interesting stipulations. Really interested to see how qualifying goes today in terms of which cars look the quickest. But there's your entry list. You can pick your favorite car. You can pick your favorite number. You can pick your favorite name if you really want to. But we do indeed have 32 drivers in this championship. Let's check then the track info one more time. There we go. We've got 10 corners. Again, arguable, to be fair. It's 4.3 kilometers long, but because of the speed of the track and the amount of straights, it doesn't feel like that. It's a very short lap time. In terms of distance, it's quite long, but in terms of time, it is very short. And we have 2 races. So we have one race, which is 20 minutes long, and then we have a second race, which is 30 minutes. Plus there is a pit stop in the middle, a mandatory stop where they have to change all 4 tyres. So that is all of the information that you need to know. If you have any questions in the chat, please let me know now before we get going. Let's check out then the standings of the championship, and you'll see exactly how close it is. And also there are some ramifications as to where people are, what teams they represent. So Lucas Muller, who is in Falcon Sim Racing team, that's the bright green or turquoise car with the blue back. He leads with 184 points to Isaac Price, who's a privateer. He is 11 points behind is Isaac Price. And Tim Yarshall, who is also a teammate of Lucas Muller, finds himself 21 points behind Lucas Muller, and he is the reigning champion. So he won't want to give it up, right? Tim Yarshall will want to become a 2-time DTM Esports champion, the first person ever to do so, but he has a teammate that leads the championship. So at some point, if Lucas Muller's looking very strong, he has to also protect his teammate. It's a very interesting situation That is for certain. A DTM Esports car then in fourth position with Florian Hasse. Leonard Krippner for Falcon Sim Racing Team, the third in the top five, is on 144 points. Then we've got Philip Drays for NeedRacing.com, our first ever race winner this season. Gianmarco Fiducci is on 131 points, and then Alessandro Ottaviani is on 124. Those are the only drivers with a chance to win the championship with only 4 races to go. In terms of the point situation, the first race is worth 24 points for the race win. Second race is worth 40 points. It's almost worth double in the second race. So, yeah, it's the feature race is absolutely worth winning. Let's check out the award winners from the last event as well. For the first time, we get to look at this. So, of course, the pole position award. Right now, Isaac Price has got himself 2. Philip Drays has got himself 2. Lucas Muller's got himself 1. But Tim Yarshall, who won it last time out, has got 3. So, yeah, right now, if he's to go out there and get one today, it just pushes him a little bit further ahead. Philip Drays, who dominated round 1 at Zandvoort, and Isaac Price, who dominated really round 2 at the RaceRoom, although he had that amazing battle with Gianmarco Fiducci. So, yeah, that is the pole position award for this. And in terms of the fastest lap award, at the Sachsenring, it was a lap time of 1:17.194. So there you go. Oh, we've got a unique DTM design as well for a prize there, which is fantastic. It's got all the tracks on it and the DTM stuff. It's Isaac Price then, who is in second place in the championship. Currently has provisional pole position, 1/10 of a second off of Florian Hasse, which is good for Falcon Sim Racing Team, not so good for Isaac Price, but he's ahead of his 2 championship rivals. Oh boy, I've been looking forward to this one, Connery, for about a month now, and we're finally here.
Yeah, absolutely. And, well, obviously it's the early stages of qualifying, but that's a better time or a better position for Isaac Price here than we're used to seeing him over the last couple of races. It just seems like that McLaren has not been dealing well with a lot of the tracks sort of in the mid-season of this DTM Esports Championship. But if it can come alive here at the Red Bull Ring and be solid at Hockenheim as well, I definitely wouldn't count Isaac Price out of this championship. But look at the amount of purple going on at the very top of the timing tower there. Lots of fast laps being set, so I imagine things will shuffle around in the not too distant future.
Yeah, absolutely. Things are definitely going to shuffle around at the top end of this. This is going to be a brilliant showcase of the ability in RaceRoom, I think. And the times are going to be super close. Right now, the top 20 is separated by half a second, which is absolutely nothing, to be honest. As Isaac Price goes across the line, does he improve enough to potentially move himself up? Well, actually, he dropped a position, and he gained time, but dropped a position. You tell me how that makes sense.
People beat him to it.
Ottaviani beat him to it.
Yes, Ottaviani with a good showing. Up into second place for the Italian. Here comes the Spaniard of Manuel Vera, heading his way through the final couple of corners, and has to take the toe back to the start.
Yeah, he's got a new livery, and I tell you what, he's a new livery, a new team, new pace, because that is very quick from Manuel Vera. And he has figured something out today, that is for certain, as Lucas Muller, our championship leader, moves up into P4 and right behind Isaac Price. What about Tim Yarshall? He's only 8th position right now, but you find yourself a 10th of a second, you move yourself up a lot of positions. So this is tight as a tiger right now. Lloyd Biddulph is P20 right now, under 5 tenths, 4 tenths of a second now off of pole position. The top 26 are separated by half a second right now. This is going to be fantastic. And remember, wherever Isaac Price is, just almost add 2 positions onto that because, take 2 positions away. His race starts are that good that he almost gets a free 2 positions every single race. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. Everybody's got the same opportunity on these race starts, but he seems to have nailed it. So P3 right now will probably feel like pole position, and that is no exaggeration.
Yeah, it's a prolific starter. Is Isaac Price? You it's so much so that I bet the drivers that start ahead of him are always like constantly wing mirror staring on the race start because they have no idea where he's going to come from. But yeah, we're seeing again lots of purple on the left-hand side. There is Florian Hasse to improve his time, perhaps fastest lap for 27.998, improves to a 27.938, and Ottaviani has unfortunately had an invalid lap. Same with Isaac Price as well. Ben Sabanki also coming to start a lap here. Enzo Filipao with the fast first sector, but the way RaceRoom decides to lay out the sectors here is a bit strange. That middle one is quite big, so it represents a big chunk of the lap here. So if they're fast through the middle sector, like Enzo Filipao is, then they stand a decent chance.
Oh, Lucas Muller moves up into P3. Florian Hasse, of course, not for racing for Falcon Sim Racing. He's in a dirt esports car. I apologise, I got that wrong earlier on. But he is pole position. Ottaviani still in second. Tim Yarshall moves up to third spot. So right now, Isaac Price is behind his two championship rivals. And Tim Yarshall, who finds himself third in his championship, is ahead of his championship rivals. So this really does make things spicy. As Isaac Price jumps at both. It's exactly the same time as Tim Yarshall. My God, this is about the last 3 minutes of this session are going to be beautiful. Get excited, ladies and gentlemen, because we're about to see an absolute classic ending to a qualifying session.
Yeah, because a lot of people are abandoning laps. Even though they have a purple sector 1 and 2, they're abandoning the laps before they get to the line. So lots of people perhaps have the pace to get stuck in amongst the top 3, top 5 here, but simply haven't been able to hook up a good final sector, which is sort of the way sectors work here is sort of like it's sort of coming out of the sweeper in through the final 2 corners. That's where people have been, well, they feel like they've been messing up and having to take the toe.
Yeah, Juhas, by the way, has just moved up into P6. Momo Vera is on a 2 purple sectors. We've got to go on board with him. He's around the final corner now. Here we go. Is this the potential? Is there the potential, shall I say, for pole position? Not sure he's that quick. He might be potential, though, to go up to 5th, maybe even 6th, actually. Across the line he will go. How quick is Momo Vera going? Oh, second! Oh, wow! Manuel Vera out of nowhere. His best finish so far this season, I think, is P14. He finds himself on the front row, and I know his family are watching at home right now, and I know they're absolutely buzzing with that. Fair play as Isaac Price is going quick as well. 2 minutes to go in this session. Merely 3 corners to go in this lap time. And will he put a dent in Lucas Muller's championship lead as Tim Yarshall goes through turn number 1? And Isaac Price, he's backed out of it. He's got one more opportunity here. And wow, this is where the pressure really does start to tell.
Manuel Vera is not even out there for another attempt. He feels like he gave it his all, and he can't get any better than that. So he's actually just sort of parked on pit lane here at the moment, not having a final attempt. But yeah, wow. Big effort from Vera to get onto the front row currently, although this might be a fast and frenetic end to the session with some drivers, again, starting purple sectors and has the potential to climb up through the field here. But yeah, massive effort. Great job from Vera to be a sort of unknown element inside the top 3, top 5 now.
Ottaviani did not improve his position, but he improved his time. He went a little bit faster. Isaac Price is purple as well as Juhas. And every single season, there's always a champion, of course, but there's always a sort of new driver that we establish or we find. And Philip Dreys, to this point, has probably been that driver this season. Momo Vera has just put himself absolutely in that conversation because that is a fantastic time from the Spaniard. And, you know, you wouldn't say necessarily it's because the BMW is that, you know, like overpowered or anything, because he's ahead of Ottaviani, who is a very, very good sim racer. So to be ahead of him, who's in exactly the same car, that is very impressive. Oh, Isaac Price might be about to absolutely destroy Florian Hasse's time here as we come then down towards the final couple of corners. Bit of a slide there on entry, hooks it up on the curb there nicely. Track limits are very kind here at the Red Bull Ring, as you would expect. Then runs the car out wide on the exit using a bit of curb there. That looks neat and tidy. That looks beautiful. And I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, this looks like pole position. Isaac Price might not need to get a fantastic start because that is all that's needed. He gets pole. He's going to tie Tim Yarshall for the most poles this season. And oh boy, Tim Yarshall and Lucas Muller, who are in 5th and 6th, they're in a little bit of trouble here. Isaac Price is back, and he's looking as fast as ever.
Absolutely fantastic effort from the only driver of a McLaren in this series, really pulling it out the bag at the very end there. He was fast all session, but he was just waiting for that third sector to be hooked up. He got his banker lap earlier on and then just sort of waited until the very final moments to be able to put in the pole position lap time. But a couple of surprises over the course of this qualifying session, not just who's on pole, but who's in third.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous there from Momo Vera. Fair play. He's definitely on his way to getting my vote for driver of the day. But qualifying belongs to Isaac Price. Where is Isaac on this leaderboard? On this here, there he is. He's the second row on the far right. Yeah, you can see that the ginger afro. Beautiful, beautiful man. He's smiling. He's happy. He's talking to his engineers. They're going to be absolutely buzzing with him. There's Momo Vera just in behind as well. You can see his smile on his face. He's absolutely buzzing as well. That is an incredible performance. He's actually got Catalunya in behind him as well, the Spanish Formula One race circuit. You can also see there the DTM Esports commentary German team. We've got a nice proper... Oh, I didn't realize Chris was actually commentating on the series. Or was that just the first thing today? But Chris Bauer, who's basically the person who runs all of this stuff, is actually on the desk. But look at that. They get an office, they get a desk, they get props, they get all sorts. Oh, well, it's fine. I get Connery, though, so I guess it's a pretty even layup. Hey, we got 20 minutes of sprint racing action on the way. We've got a formation lap here, and Isaac Price starting on pole position. This is absolutely massive for the championship today. Remember, 20 points are on offer for P1. And just to put into perspective what the positions they are in currently, Lucas Muller, if he finishes in 6th position, he would get 13 points, and that means it will be a tie in the championship. So that means that Lucas Muller and Isaac Price would actually be tied in the championship on the same amount of points, leading going into the third from last race straight after this.
Indeed. Wow. It's such a joy to have such a close championship, because we haven't, it's been more of a conclusion at this point in seasons gone by, especially with Yarshall's championship.
Yeah.
But now it's sort of like we still don't know, sort of with the penultimate event, who's going to take this thing, or even who's looking likely to take this thing. It's sort of still wide open.
No, it absolutely is. Like you just said, most of the time, the season's pretty much done by this point, or you kind of know who's going to be champion. Mathematically, of course, it's not over, but yeah, normally it's you've got a fair clue. This season is absolutely not the case. There's 3 real candidates at the sharp end that you are likely going to be battling out on the final race of this season to take that crown. And that's Lucas Muller, that's Isaac Price, and that is, of course, Tim Yarshall. There are also 5 drivers behind that will be waiting for any potential mistakes. As we see lots of Asher Racing banners around. I received an Asher McLaren Atura Ultimate BSB today, guys. It's maybe my favourite thing I've ever seen or had in my hands for sim racing. It is beautiful. So yeah, shout out to Asher Racing. But it's not about me. This is about the drivers on the screen. Also, there are other sponsors as well. BBS, of course, on your screens there. So we've got YouTube open now as well, and yes, there are lots of low support in the chat, which is always fantastic to see. Welcome on YouTube. Hopefully you're all well, ladies and gentle cars, and welcome on Twitch as well. Here we go. Will Williams showing some support there. We love to see it. We're about to go around the final corner, and well, Isaac Price is on pole position. And look at those 2 Falcon sim racing cars, the turquoise and blue. Those 2 are also fighting for the championship. But if Isaac can get away here, he might be able to put himself in the lead going into the final 2 races of the season. Here we go then. We're waiting for those lights to go green, and we're off and we're running. And Isaac Price then does get that good start. He's got the Lamborghini on the inside here, and Will Florian has to send it down towards turn number 1. He will not. Oh, he does. He actually does. And as he comes back off the curb there, he will be slow. Everyone in the background, it's like 17 wide in the background. It's unbelievable. It's like a diamond formation. But as we run up towards turn number 1, Lolo Vera, is he going to look for a potential move up towards P2? Isaac Price gets across and defends. You can see that Ottaviani also in the R8G car is going to try and make a move on Vera. It's 3 wide, and they do get through there. Oh, I'm so close to someone having a day ruined. But Lolo Vera is still side by side with that Lamborghini down towards 4. He backs out of it, gives it up, but he is in P3. But look behind, Tim Yarshall's ahead. Lucas Muller's dropped the position. Lucas Muller is trying to make a move on Juhasz in the background. background as well. Has to make that move, I think, and he's back up into P6. But it's plain sailing for Isaac Price, who's now got about half a second gap. Brilliantly done.
Yeah, absolutely chaotic start. Not as chaotic as the Community Cup, but it was all clean, relatively clean here in the actual DTM Esports season as Yarshel goes down the inside of Ottaviani at the sweeping left-right in the middle of this circuit as there's the commitment from the Porsche on driver's left-hand side. Let's see if the BMW can hold on here on the way down in towards the penultimate corner. Half a car length, full car length ahead for Tim Yarshel as he gets it done.
Yeah, the extra weight in that car is actually going to help out in the traction zones, to be fair, but it's then the straight line speed is going to struggle. So 35 kilos added to the Porsche. BMW should probably close up and potentially make a move towards turn number 1. But Yarshel there getting the extra traction through the middle sector of this circuit and ultimately then gaining a few points on his teammate Lucas Muller. Lucas Muller currently in 6th position. And as it stands, going into today's final race, it would be a tie in the championship between Isaac Price and Lucas Muller. Fantastic stuff here as we see a potential move around the outside. The door's been left open, though, by Ottaviani. And actually, it looks like Lucas Muller's not able to make that work. Front 3 have gone away here. So Isaac Price leads, Hasser in 2nd, and then we've got Lolo Vera in 3rd position as we see a potential retake of P4 for Ottaviani. He's going to try and go around the outside of turn number 4. Big lock up there on the entry of turn number 4. Tim Yarshel with that number 1 in this car is going to hold firm. We'll have the inside line for the next 2 corners, and that should render Ottaviani's advances pretty useless at this point. Fair play, though. Good driving from Tim Yarshel, but just losing time to that front 3. Isaac Price, by the way, in absolute dreamland.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got half a second, if not more, over Hasser and Vera at the moment, which is a nice place to be. Not entirely comfortable, but still no dramas on the race start here for Isaac Price, and that front 3 as a grouping running away from the rest of them just makes them all just that little bit safer from progressing cars from behind. But as we head our way across the line now, just a couple of laps in the books here. Someone going out very, very wide indeed. Didn't quite spot who that one was, but we'll see a move here being made potentially by De Bruyne on Marijuana up in towards turn number 1.
Oh, he's going to have to go the long way around there.
Yeah,
the Ferrari's like, no, you shall not pass. Not today. That's Andika Maulana, right? Yeah, he makes that car almost a weapon. Not just holding his line, but almost a bit of a weapon, although the BMW is very quick in a straight line, but now having to defend from another Ferrari. And now he uses his car as a weapon. And basically what's happening around here is just pretty poor all around, to be honest, as that is Emre Cihan in the background as well in the Porsche trying to get involved. We've got also, I'm not too sure exactly which one of the Porsches it is. They've got their name on the side of the car, which is fantastic. Again, not quite close enough for me to be able to see exactly who that is. Yeah, it's just a bit messy, to be honest. Bo Dixon, by the way, up to P10. I know there's a lot of people that support Bo Dixon. He's raced in many of my championships. One of the most winningest drivers in my community. We used to have races many moons ago, and to see him performing at this level is very nice indeed. As we see a big send down the inside there. Bent Banky trying to hold on to that position. Klaffenberg then has to sort of just give it up. And there's a big mistake there actually from Bo Dixon. I think Dixon's going to be in trouble here. I think Burliak is probably going to get the run and make the move up and towards that top 10. Bo Dixon, how late can you go on the brakes? He's got a teammate from the RHE camp ahead, and actually fair play. Burliak backs out and decides, you know what, I'm going to try and do it up towards turn number 3.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the that's the option, and well, it's still yes, it's the sprint race, but it's still early on in it. As Klaffenberg goes for another move here, a little bit of damage on the front end of Vensabanki's car there. That's Ferrari not looking as it rolled off the dealership, that's for sure, but still able to hold his own coming off the corner.
Yeah, what's Bent's doing there? That was a very silly decision. He just created contact into the braking zone there, where it was very clear the car was alongside him, and ultimately just ended up slowing him down here. As we see a very defensive move there. Bo's going to try and occupy the space that was left by Klaffenberg. And Bo Dixon is having some race here. This will be his best performance so far this season at a top 10. And we're seeing Lolo Vera and we're seeing Bo Dixon really have sort of breakout races. I'll tell you what, he's found a little gap here with his double left-hander. There might be an opportunity here for Bo Dixon to make himself a move up the inside of Klaffenberg. Klaffenberg will have to run around the outside, though, once they get through the apex, and actually will have the momentum as well. And all of a sudden, you've got their Burliak trying to get re-involved here. You've got 2 RHG cars there versus the Distinct.GG. And the Distinct.GG is basically the big meat in this sandwich.
It really is, and well, a lot of room to maneuver in this little grouping of cars here at the moment, all getting up in each other's business as they then, well, sneak their way coming down the pit straight here, up and towards turn number 1 once again. Leonard Krippner on the back of this one's making some steady progress, trying to, I guess, try and be a threat in this particular battle, but yeah, with the amount of side-by-side and the amount of sort of moves gone for over the course of the last couple of laps for this particular pack, it just means they're stacking up behind. And again, another little move being made here on the part of Klaffenberg, looking for the exit off the corner, try and get the drive off, and then make something happen into the next. But well, we'll see if it happens for the RHG's BMW.
Always makes me laugh when you say they sneak their way across the start-finish line. I just imagine them all turning their engines off, just rolling across. Oh, you said snake, sorry. I thought you said sneak. I'm just imagining them all turning their engines off and just being really quiet so no one notices them go by. But you said snake, so my bad. Bo Dixon makes the move. That's not so sneaky, is it? That's brilliantly done. And now up to P9 for Bo Dixon. And yeah, he's mixing it with the big boys. RHG, one of the bigger names in sim racing, are dealing with a very well-known in the community side of sim racing, Mr. Dixon, and he's doing a very good job. Next up for him is Bent Abanki. As Isaac Price is now 0.4 of a second clear. Florian Hatter, by the way, is keeping Isaac Price very honest indeed. Lucas Muller still in P6, Otto Viani still in P5, and Yarshall still in P4. So by my mathematics here, and again, let's not completely go by this, it'll be a tie in points for our top 2 in the championship, and Tim Yarshall will be getting 5 more than Lucas Muller, so I believe he will close the gap to 16. So Tim Yarshall will be in 3rd still, but he'll be 16 points behind Lucas Muller and Isaac Price. So that's how I think this will work out. So right now they could probably do with Florian Hassel dropping a position. Sorry, gaining a position.
Yeah, but the only one he's going to gain, or he's like can gain over the course of this race, is up into the race lead over Isaac Price. So yeah, that's a very, very big ask indeed. But like you said, though, Hasse has kept Price honest here. Price has not been able to run away over the course of this first race. They've been keeping within that sort of 3 to 6/10 of a second gap for all the laps that we've run so far. So this is not a pace issue on the part of any of the cars behind, actually. It's just how do you get your opportunity issue now for Florian Hasse. You need to get that maybe a little extra 10th closer, then maybe look for an opportunity, a gap, especially down into the heavy braking zones. But you know that those are not going to be very easily available, especially when it's Isaac Price we're talking about.
No, 100%. It's yeah, he's a very experienced campaigner. He's not going to make any rash decisions. That's for certain. Hasse can do all of the oldest tricks in the book, and he just isn't going to bite. It really is as simple as that. Isaac will know when to defend. He'll know when to do the right thing. So Hasse kind of needs to think outside of the box. And in terms of the championship, Florian Hasse is closing the gap here. He finds himself down in 4th position in this championship. And in terms of Tim Yarshall, so Tim Yarshall would be getting 16 points, and Hasse would be getting 20. And that means he would close the gap to, well, he would actually be moving to within 20 points of the leader of the championship as well. So yeah, Florian Hasse, it's not done and dusted for him right now. A race win here, and all of a sudden the gap is maybe, what, 16 points? So he is right in amongst it, and actually tied then with Tim Yarshall. So yeah, there's no way he's going to let Isaac just go out there and win this race.
Absolutely not. But is it within his power to challenge him at this point? Yes, he can keep with him, but trying to get alongside, trying to get past, you know, that's a different question entirely. So yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one indeed. Maybe you just sort of, I guess, go against what you're going to say. You were saying that, Luke, and just sort of take this second place and then see what happens, at least strategically, in the main race where the points matter a lot more.
Yeah, there is that as well. You know, at some point you got to think, you know, if I have an opportunity, I take it. Do I push for it? Probably not. I think the beauty of this is that there is another driver that isn't in the championship hunt in Vera in P3, and then there's like a 4-second gap to Yarshall, Ottaviani, and Lucas Muller. He can't affect that part of the race. You know, he doesn't want Lucas Muller to make a move, and actually Lucas Muller seems very close in behind Ottaviani right now. That's the last thing that Isaac Price and you know, the likes of Florian Hasse really need. But yeah, right now he's just in control of his own destiny. Just go out there, get some good points, move on to the feature race where it's worth more points.
Indeed. But we'll see what the option is for Florian Hasse, if he can get close enough to challenge, or if second place is going to be as good as it gets over the course of this one. But look at this gaggle of cars in the mid-pack. Oh my word, multiple instances of side-by-side. Maluana and Xian involved in this one as well. We got Krippner, who was fighting with Maluana just for a moment there. Now we've got Xian getting involved with De Bruyne, and oh boy.
Yeah, well, hold on. Where's one of the where have those RHG cars? How they disappeared that far down? So there must have been an incident somewhere, because yeah, Bruin's down the order, and Klaffenberg has also dropped down the order, right? So yeah, not good, and that's given. It looks like Bo Dixon's gained a spot. So's Mitchell. So's Benz Banky. Philip Dreys has moved up. Krippner's moved up. Rama Maulan's moved up. So yeah, the RHG cars have just dropped off out of absolutely nowhere. So yeah, fantastic news for the cars in front. In terms of the best battle on circuit right now, it's probably around here, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you got essentially a whole grouping of I mean, kind of sort of maybe 8-9 cars that are all within very, very close proximity here, and 3 of them in center picture right now, all stacked up together as De Bruyne looks to make the move on the outside on Emre Can up into the braking zone. BMW being brought to a halt as there's Enzo Filipao looking to try and make it a 3-way battle here on the way down the straights. It'll return to 2x2 as they enter the next braking zone. But yeah, this is looking, well, Filipao looking aggressive. He doesn't care about making it 3-way. He's going to commit down the inside and make contact with all of them.
Yes. Yeah, I'll let the chat dissect that. That was rubbish. That is all I've got on that. That was just not very good. The tag is like 2 of the best sim racers in the world. Well, I'm going to say 28, because 4 there did not show themselves in the greatest light.
Wow, are we getting no filter, Luke? Is that what we're getting?
Never.
Other commentators would say, "Oh, that was not ideal," or something like that. You know,
no, just rubbish.
But yeah, you just went. These guys are not good.
No, they're good, obviously very good, but when you know, every single one of these drivers has spent so much time preparing for this, and all it takes is one person to send it where they just don't belong, and then your race is over, because you don't catch up. Once you've lost a few seconds, you don't catch up. And yeah, sometimes you've got to call a spade, or in this sense, rubbish when it's rubbish.
There we go. The wrath of Luke Crane has descended upon this sprint race, and we've still got 5 minutes of it left to go, and a couple of bad cars out there.
Yeah, I feel my wrath. No one cares what I say, really, to be honest. I've been in this industry for nearly 15 years, Connery, and no one's cared to this point, so I imagine that is going to continue here as Emre Can here having some ding-dong battle there with Klaffenberg. We run down, or was that De Bruyne? It's one of the two. As we run down towards turn number 4, big send from the BMW. He's going to run a little bit wide there, and Emre Can there takes the Alex Albon line, but this time keeps it going. And the BMW is going to make that move stick, I think.
Just about, yeah. The overlap is non-existent now, and De Bruyne is able to secure himself ahead of Emre Can. So fantastic job indeed in that little sequence. As gap is extended for race lead, by the way. Isaac Price now 1.8 over Florian Hasse, and so yeah, he's looking very, very comfortable here at the moment, as well as we'll get something on screen, trust me folks, as I saw a little bit of a move happening towards the very back of that train involving Klaffenberg, maybe Neg and Zari also involved in this one as well, but they're all just very much stacked up together. Not a lot of room to breathe into these braking zones whatsoever.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, so basically, Isaac Price is doing a fantastic job now. 1.9 seconds in the lead and looking very good. I tell you what, the battle for second is also heating up here. Oliveira is very close to Florian Hassan. This would be perfect for Lucas Muller, it'd be perfect for Tim Yarshall, it'd be perfect actually for Isaac Price if Oliveira was to actually make a move here to go up to P2. And it does look like the tyre drop-off is quite significant at this stage. They will not have to get this far into the race if they choose not to in race number 2, because there is a pit stop right bang in the middle. As you can see there, a very concentrated face of Manuel Vera in that BMW. And is there a potential opportunity to make a move? The Lamborghini moving over to the right-hand side of the circuit there to break the toe. Now towards the final couple of corners. Again, track limits are a little bit nicer around the Red Bull Ring. Doesn't matter what sim you're on, or even in the real world. They just tend to be, you're allowed to race a little bit wider than anywhere else in the world. But right now, Florian Hassan is doing a pretty good job. 3 minutes to go, Connery. And Isaac Price is looking to tie the lead in this championship. And just to reiterate, Lucas Muller being in 6th position, who is the championship leader coming into today, and Isaac Price now leading this race. It would mean they would be tied on points going into the second race of today, the third from last race of the championship. But I think Isaac Price will be winning on countback because he has indeed got more race wins this season.
Vera's looking quick here, and he has the advantage of the slipstream now up to Hassan, because Hassan might have had some form of issue, some form of solo error that meant he lost about a second, and has now put Vera in this position where really with 2 and a bit minutes to go, the opportunities are going to be there potentially for Vera to make this a second step of the podium finish instead of a third one. But I don't think he was expecting either coming into this race day.
No, definitely not. It's been one of those seasons where he's just grown and got better and better as the season's gone on. Again, I believe P14 or maybe P12 is the best finish so far this season for Mr. Vera. And this is a significant improvement on that, because currently he's on the podium and he'll be sipping some champagne, although not before the last race of today. 1 minute 40 seconds left on the clock. Lap time wise, yeah, they're gonna, yeah, it's gonna be tight here, but I think there might be 2 laps to go. Oh, it's really tight. It's bang on 128. If he slows down enough here, yeah, if he slows down enough here, then it might be a world where this is the final lap of the race. But I'm not sure whether Isaac's even thinking about that. But it is in his best interest to make this the final lap, because it's less miles to travel and ultimately less chance of making a mistake. Florian Hassan, though, just holding firm to Manuel Vera's advances. The gap's now come out again to around about 4-5 tenths per second, which is very manageable in this championship. Ottaviani then is in P4, Tim Yarshall P5, Lucas Muller in P6. No real movement from those, although Lucas Muller's still right behind. Oh, sorry, should I say that? Tim Yarshall's dropped back, hasn't he? Ottaviani now is in 4th position, so Yarshall's dropped down, and all of a sudden he is right in front of his teammate. That might be an interesting battle here, because Lucas Muller needs to really keep finishing ahead of his teammate to sort of stop him from closing that gap. And Tim Yarshall, of course, is the reigning champ. He won't want to give up this title. So this is the battle right now for what would be 4th position. Ottaviani is up ahead. And as we come round towards the final sector of this circuit, we'll come through this left-hander, then briefly to the right, and then it will be the final sector. This might well be the last lap of this race. We're not entirely sure. These drivers here, well, actually, Ottaviani would be absolutely buzzing if this was not the final lap of the race, whereas the 2 Porsches will be hoping there is one more to go. As we're about to come across the line, does he slow down enough here he is slowing down. He is slowing down.
Oh, he's on the line.
It's another lap then. So we've got another lap to go. Or is that the checker? No, it is 1 more lap to go, right? Yeah, it is. So we're off and we're running for 1 more lap, which is perfect for the group behind. So let's go on board with them then. So Lucas Muller in behind his teammate Tim Yarshall. Tim Yarshall, who will not have the straight line speed here, really is all about the braking and the mid-speed corner. The advantage over the BMW that's slightly in front as the BMW moves right over to defend that inside line. Tim Yarshall then is going to try and go out wide there. Lucas Muller not close enough to take advantage of that. The acceleration off the corner should be pretty good for the Porsche, but it's now then the weight disadvantage that will affect them running down towards turn number 4. Can Ottaviani make this BMW as wide as possible? Tim Yarshall then opens up turn number 4. Almost a bit of contact there. The door left open for Lucas Muller. You can see that Yarshall realised that was, the potential of losing a position opposed to making one up. And I tell you what, the teammates are going to fight. The teammates are going to fight here as we come through in towards, again, that final sector. Will Lucas Muller find anything, or is he going to be too kind? Ottaviani, it looks like he's going to be plain sailing, as is Isaac Price. 2 seconds the advantage then for our race leader. And I think now he will be tied in the championship with Lucas Muller, unless Muller can make one more position up. Round the final corner we will go. It is a race win then for the Brit. Isaac Price will tie the championship lead if it's to finish as they are right now. Around the final corner then for Lucas Muller, and it will be P6 for him. So as we go into the third from last race, the second race of today, it is tied at the top then. So Lucas Muller and Isaac Price will be bang on the same amount of points as we go into the feature race. And now we can officially breathe.
Yeah, we can. Wow. It looked a little bit sketchy towards the end there for that grouping of Ottaviani, Yarshel, Muller, etc. there, as see this big gaggle of cars come across the line all at once there. Yeah. Scary stuff sometimes if you're some of the championship contenders. Not scary, though, for Isaac Price, who wins comfortably by about 4 seconds over Florian Hasse. But Manuel Vera getting himself his first podium finish of the DTM Esports season. Yes, it's in a sprint race. Let's see if you can repeat it in the feature. Yeah, if that sprint race is anything to go by, we have a treat for when we introduce the little bit extra time and obviously a pit stop.
Yep, there's a Porsche inside of a McLaren there. Not sure what we're going to have in 9 months' time, but it's going to be interesting all the same. Isaac Price then wins by 1.5 seconds, and the reason why it's 1.5 seconds, I think he genuinely did try and make it the last lap on the penultimate one, but it didn't quite work out there, so we did have an extra lap to negotiate. Florian Hasse then finishes in second position. Manuel Vera, best performance of the season from him. Picks up not only his first top 10, but his first podium of the season. Alessandro Ottaviani in fourth. Tim Yarshel is in fifth position. Lucas Muller, Christian Juhasz in sixth and seventh. And then we've got Bo Dixon with his best performance of the season in eighth spot. Ben Spanky and Philip Draser in ninth and 10th, respectively. Christian Mitchell in 11th. Leonard Kripner is in 12th. Then Andika Ramat Maulana in 13th. Enzo Filipao, Max Pfeiffer, Kaj De Bruin, Ilya Dravozkov, Emre Chihan, Luciana Whitver, and Roland Sen are your top 20. And then we do indeed have Patrick Jarry, Peter Berliak. We've got Julian Klaffenberg, Mihai Neg. We've then got Lloyd Bidolf, Leonard, or Leonard, whatever you want to call him, Carton, Vil Craivi, Julian Kunzer, Marvin Mackenberg, and Turka Hakkinen as your 30 cars. And that is all of them. That is it for the sprint race. Jesus Christ, that was hot. It's hot here, but it's hot out there on the race circuit, especially in the mid-pack where we saw the good, the bad, and lots of very ugly.
Yeah, absolutely. It's it's an interesting one for sure. It's a lot more action than the previous circuits were able to offer. That's for sure. It gives us a lot more to talk about. That's for certain, and it gives the drivers the opportunities to progress forward throughout the race rather than having to rely on a very good qualifying. But yeah, it's obviously we now have that dynamic as we come into the feature race of okay, we've now got to introduce this this pit stop into things as well, which makes things even more interesting with regards to the dynamics of exactly where, like, what track position you would like to be in. Of course, you're probably better off here, maybe running in a bit of a pack versus running on your own, as long as that pack sort of can keep up with you and you can sort of mutually benefit each other. But yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see indeed.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's a very interesting dynamic. And if we just get the standings up coming into today, I want to briefly touch on this and chat. This is where it gets very interesting. This is where I have to do live maths, which, maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. But by my maths, Isaac Price has now closed the lead to tie it. So Lucas Muller and Isaac Price are tied. Tim Yarshel came into this race weekend 21 points behind. And if I look here, the difference between, so he finished in fifth, didn't he? And yeah, so he dropped a position. So actually, he's only gained 1 point. So he's now 20 points behind. So he's gained 1 point on the championship leader, but that's not enough for him. The reigning champ with 3 races to go, starting to sort of slip down the order. And Florian Hasse finishes second in that race. We'll move on to 167. Lucas Muller will move on to 197. So it's Yeah, 117. Yeah, so he will now move within 20 points of the lead. So he'll be tied with Tim Yarshall. So there's a tie for the lead and tied for second, or tied for third, technically. It's a lot of math to do here, but it's just absolutely nuts as to what we should expect then. Right, I guess we now head into the next race, into the feature race.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I mean, we've got a little bit of practice before a little bit of a warm up session, shall we say, before we head into the head into qualifying proper. But yeah, it's looking good. I have to wonder what the mentality is for some of your drivers coming into this, because obviously Isaac Price coming off a very confident race. That's lots of positivity going into this. He was kept honest, though. Maybe a little bit of a mistake from Yarshall towards the end, sort of put a damper on his hopes, as my RaceRoom has crashed, so I'll have to restart that in a second. But the overall sort of takeaway from that is Price can't be too taking this as a given. Here in this second race, he's still going to have to work for a pole position, a race win here, because it was looking still very, very close when it comes to race pace in amongst those drivers at the very front of the field. Because even Vera, I say even Vera, he's a very strong driver, but he was still able to keep with that top two as well within about 1.5 seconds. So, so still all to play for, I think, in this second race, and I'm super excited for it.
Yeah, I think the pressure's on Tim Yarshall. Right now, Isaac Price and Lucas Muller, if there's no real issues in this race, they're going to get enough points to go into the final round or the final two races in touch with each other. It's Tim Yarshall. I think he needs a big result here. I would go as far as to say he probably needs to win this race. He needs to at least finish ahead of both of them. But I would say he needs to go out there and win this race. And it remains to be seen whether he can do that, whether he's got the car underneath him to do it. It doesn't seem like the Porsche is that strong here. And, I hate talking about BOP, but the Porsches look like the car this season. So, it was bound to happen at some point where, one race, the Porsche was not going to be quite at it. It's the McLaren, almost Isaac's been dragging that McLaren around, but that seems like it's the good car this week. So he's kind of got a favourable BOP, but it swings and roundabouts. But let's head then to the feature race. Let's go and have a look at what we're about to, let's have a look at the drivers first. But yeah, it's qualifying, 10 minutes qualifying. Difference between this race and the sprint race is that there is a safety car period, a pit stop period, a mandatory pit stop period. There we go. I got it out of my mouth. Where they have to change all 4 tyres on the car, and that is going to be vital. Staying out as long as you can is obviously going to work out in the long run, but getting undercut, of course, is a huge factor. If you're someone like Florian Hasser, if you can undercut Isaac, that would have been a real good play for the sprint race. And if they are going to be as close as they were, in the last race, and there's every reason to suggest that strategy is going to be massive.
Yeah, absolutely. We are back into qualifying session. We're just sorting out that issue with the timing tower, because that's quite interesting. We're skipping second and third. You didn't want to know about those anyway, so that's absolutely fine. But yeah, restarting the overlay seems to have not worked.
He'll figure it out once they cross the line, mate. Again, so you're all good.
Yeah.
Once they get this sorted, we've got 6 minutes 30 seconds to go. So once it's all sorted, it will all be sorted here, ladies and gentle cars. As we see Isaac Price there do a Houdini act and just disappear. Florian Hasser, though, is the fastest, as we've got Vera up into second momentarily. Now he moves down to third as Isaac Price is up to pole position. So 200ths of a second the gap, and Isaac Price is back on pole spot.
Yeah, absolutely. It's probably easier for me to read out the positions at the moment. So Price on pole position, Vera second place, Sotoviani, Hasser starting to appear in second and then dropping down, which is very interesting. We will wait for these technical issues just for a couple of minutes, just to make sure that if they stabilize out, then that would be absolutely fantastic. But this is usually an issue as we load into a server. It has to load all of the assets and have to load all the driver's positions and things like that. But slowly it will become more and more accurate. That's because I had to close and restart RaceRoom before this race. That's why this has happened.
Yeah, no, all good. Hopefully we don't have an issue like we did with Jeffrey Reevelt last year, where he just desynced from everybody and ultimately didn't get a race finish there. So fingers crossed. And that is the joys of sim racing. In sim racing, having disconnection issues and stuff like that is like an engine in real life going pop. So yeah, these are the nuances. That's what's the differences between real motorsport and sim racing. Isaac Price, though, is currently having no issues whatsoever. Out there in front, 5 minutes to go, 27.8, went faster than his previous lap time, and he's going faster again here. Florian Hasser currently in second spot, and then you've got Manuel Vera again in that top 3. Klaffenberg then is in 4th. I don't think you're going to be 4th position at the end of this session if you're at 0.2 of a second off of time. And already you see that that's not the case because Lucas Muller moves up into 4th spot, just shy of 0.2 off of the pace. And yeah, the Porsches just haven't looked strong today.
No, absolutely not. It's I mean, it kind of makes sense as this is the track that they're maybe not necessarily the most comfortable at. I mean, they have been hit by the bop as well in a pretty severe way. Not only have they had a restrictor of 1% less power, but also they're carrying around 35 more kilos than would be normal. And to give the context, well, that's half of me. So they're lugging around a decent amount of decent chunk of.
Wow, that is yeah, you are very small, Connery.
Yes, I am.
I can tell you one thing now. That is not half of me. That is for certain. Florian Hasser's got pole. Okay, so Isaac Price under a little bit of pressure now, and with Tim Yarsha in 3rd spot, I think there's a massive opportunity for lots of drivers here to move up into 3rd. That's the biggest gap we've seen. We have seen some runaway. Sachsenring, we actually saw Yarsha be 0.2 quicker than everybody, but we very rarely see that kind of gap between 2 drivers. But so yeah, Tim Yarshall, with being 1.5 tenths off of the front 2, there's a big opportunity for someone to force themselves in that gap.
Absolutely. We're seeing personal best lap times being set by Lucas Müller, or at least personal best sectors being set by Müller, and Otto Viani here at this point. Otto Viani, again, another improvement on his best time through Sector 2 as well. So looking like a tidy lap for the driver, currently in provisional 6th place on the starting grid here at the moment, and looking to progress on forwards. We'll actually have to see the exact sector times there and the deltas.
Oh, this is good. This is very good.
Final corner.
Very good.
It's looking pretty
This
tidy.
is good for 3rd. This is good for 3rd here, Connery. Sorry to butt in. It's just exciting to see Ottaviani performing at this level. He's about to go across the line. He's going to be 3rd, I think, and he did. There we go. Nice. So actually, the final sector was miles off. In all fairness, Florian Hasser will look like he was going slow there, and if he doesn't back out of this lap, he's on for a very good one here, as Florian Hasser is actually pole position, isn't he? So, yeah, Isaac Price then displaced, as we said, but Florian Hasser might be able to go a little bit faster. Tim Marshall has improved again, I think. Yeah, he did. He definitely 0.156. He's just improved by 100th of a second. Lucas Muller is now the driver under pressure. Tim Yarshall would likely, well, not likely, would definitely like to be ahead of Isaac Price and Lucas Muller, but he is ahead of his teammate right now. Isaac Price is having a bit of a week.
Yeah, he is. And, well, having a bit of a struggle with trying to set another qualifying time here is Isaac Price as well. He's he's taking multiple toes back to the starting point to try and get a good run in. I mean, he did get to pole position on the very last attempt last time, as Hasser decides to abandon the lap there. Also, Viani going faster through the first sector too.
He definitely did decide. He ran wide out of the second to last corner. And yeah, that was a quick lap, Connery. That was a lap that it's almost like the Singapore lap from Max many years ago, or a couple of years ago, where he chucked it in the wall, where it was going to be the most unbelievable lap, and then it just wasn't. I think Hasser was on one of those. It was a very good lap, and then he just runs wide, and ultimately it was a game over. As Isaac Price, he has to do this lap now. Yeah. This is it. He's, I don't know what's happened in Sector 1, whether that's invalidated or not. We'll find out once he crosses the line, of course. But he cannot do another lap now. The time has gone below the 1 minute 28 that you would need. You need about 1 minute 40, really, to get a lap time. And his Otto Viani, his middle sector's poor. His final sector, he's 3.8 seconds clear. Brilliant stuff. He's obviously just chucked himself to restart. His session's done. Isaac Price is, okay, here we go. This is very quick. This might be about to be extremely fast. This might be about to blow everyone out of the water. And I tell you what, this might be a 27.6. There is a potential here if the final sector is really good. No, I don't think so, actually. A 27.6 here is on the cards, and this might blow everyone out of the water.
Yeah, this is everyone, the entire grid is hearing final boss music as Isaac Price heads his way across the line, but it wasn't enough.
Wow.
It was
He is in the
not
top three.
enough. It was 600ths of a second behind Hasser.
But he is in the top 3, so that basically means he's pole position, because considering his race start. So, yeah, Alien Motorsport are in the Twitch chat as well. They're shouting out Mr. Vera, of course, who's done very well today. P5 in this race, a podium. Best race start or race finish of race start. It wasn't his best race start for sure, but his best race finish of the season, managing to get that podium in race number 1. But starts again. If he hadn't had the sprint race earlier, P5 would have been his best race start. So a very good week in his new team as well. And they're saying Lolo for president. God, that's a meme from about 15 years ago. Come on, let's get with the times. Right, moving on. Opuma, this is a RaceRoom racing experience. Free download on Steam. Get yourself involved in it right now. So we get the camera panning. And we're about to have the final race of today's broadcast. The feature race here at the Red Bull Ring. Oh, see all of our drivers then. Lots of sweaty human beings. Alessandro Ottaviani is very sweaty. He's not as sweaty as I am right now, but he is extremely sweaty. He's a good lad as well. And then you've got Manuel Vera, he's definitely hot, but just doesn't look like he sweats at all. So, yeah, fair enough. It is what it is. Anyway, we're ready to go here. We have got ourselves a formation lap behind the Cupra safety car, of course, the official safety car of DTM. And we are partnered, of course, within RaceRoom as well, which is fantastic to see as we get a rear look from our pole sitter with that Esports on the back of the car with the RaceRoom on the rear wing. And you've got Isaac Price in that McLaren just in behind. Oh, final race of today's broadcast. We've had a very, very good set of races today, and I'm sure this one will not disappoint as well, Connery.
No, absolutely not. It's going to be another 30 minutes of fast and frenetic action, involving also the pit stop window as well. We'll have to see how the drivers negotiate that, whether or not the coming in as soon as possible or splitting the race 50-50 or going really long will result in a triumph here on the part of some of the drivers. It's going to be a bit more interesting in terms of the strategy this time around, given that, well, it's easier to overtake here than a lot of other tracks that we've had over the course of this season. So you might actually be rewarded potentially if you do push this in out a little bit longer, because you can have that opportunity to come back.
Yeah, of course, and strategy is going to be a big factor. So tyre wear around this circuit, we saw the drop-off in the Community Cup race. We've seen it in our first race today. They will not have to go a full 20 minutes, though. So, yeah, they will be able to split this race in half. But if someone can eke their tyres out a little bit longer and be quicker at the end, that could be very advantageous as well. And also, we need to be aware of opportunities, because Isaac Price is going to fly off in the start here. His starts have been exceptional all season long. And actually, from pole position today, probably his worst race start of the season. He only just about held on to P1, right? Which just goes to show how incredible they have been all season so far. And I would again say anywhere from sort of P3 is pole position for Isaac Price with the way he's been starting these races. We head then towards the final couple of corners. Predictions then, Connery. Who's going to get the win?
I mean, typical Price first Price good start potentially leading out of turn 1, then maybe a big battle between himself and Hasser on the way down in towards the heavy braking zone. After that point, I don't know.
I think we're going to see for the first time one of our title protagonists in trouble. I think we're going to see the pressure start to form. The pressure of trying to make moves or having to make moves start to form. And also the fact that Isaac Price is on the inside line and will likely get the better start, that's going to very much close them up. So here we go then. Race start time. We're about to go across the line. Florian Hasser will be your pole sitter. Isaac Price just in behind. And we're about to see them go green light racing for the final race of round number 5. Here we go. Feature race has started. And Hasser straight across. Whoa! Just hit Isaac Price there. What a weird start that is. And if you go through turn number 1, we have got an R8G BMW around the outside. And I tell you what, is he going to be able to hold on to it? No, he's not. He's actually going to have to filter back into P3. I think Isaac Price might be in a bit of trouble, though, as we head up towards turn number 3. Florian Hassel, he's giving him the slipstream. Probably a good idea. Well, he's got to defend that inside line. It is going to be 3 wide. It's Manuel Vera makes a move on our championship leader. And is he going to move up to second spot? It's 3 wide between 2 BMWs and a McLaren. And this is not where Isaac Price wants to be. And this is what I mean. Anything can happen. You've got 2 drivers there who've got nothing to lose. They're ultimately just going out there to win each and every race. And as we come then down towards turn number 4, Ottaviani has not got it done. Isaac Price will hold on to P2. But look at this, Manuel Vera is looking to go up from P5 into P4. He's side by side then with Tim Yarshall, the number 1 on his car. Of course, he is our reigning champ. And well, I think Manuel Vera, by the time they come up through the next left-hander, will have this position nailed. Or can Tim Yarshall keep the over? He can't. So there we go. Frantic start here, but a very clean one.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. But I was super scared. I get a bit of deja vu that we had from the first race when we saw 3 wide down into the braking zone here. Yarshall with a big look down the inside of Manuel Vera, but not going to be able to do anything about, well, in terms of getting alongside there. But coming towards the end of the first lap here, it is Florian Hasse that still leads from Price, from Ottaviani, from Vera here. And, well, a couple of shuffling for position in behind as well. But this is the first time this race day that we're going to see Isaac Price on the offensive here. He was, you know, in sort of race conservation mode inside the first sprint race, but now, yes, good chasing the back end of Florian Hasse, and now he's going to draw himself alongside.
Yeah, he is, and he leaves the door open, though, for the potential advancements of that IG car, and they go round. So Manuel Vera is, well, going to lose positions here. I think the 2 Falcon sim racing cars are going to gain spots here. It's perfect for them, but it's not a good day then for RAG. Another car facing the wrong direction. I think Manuel Vera might be in a little bit of trouble there. As you see, Florian Hasse under a lot of pressure down towards turn number 4. Isaac Price just trying to keep that line or keep the overlap around the outside. It's not quite going to work out, I don't think, unless he can send it, and he's going to try. He's absolutely going to try here. Florian Hasse is going to run deep, but ultimately keep hold of that position. But they've got a bit of breathing room now because of that melee in behind.
Yep, they do. But yeah, you see the idea there from Isaac Price is as he tried to commit and keep that overlap, because then that'll give him the opportunity down into the sweeping sections, but it just simply didn't happen that way for him, and Hasse was able to keep him at bay for the moment. The Falcon cars, though, the Yarshall and Muller, doing very well, 3rd and 4th place here at the moment, despite the issues that have happened in and around them. They've been able to continue to press on forwards and maintain a good race pace here. Here comes Klaffenbroek then. Well, at least a little bit of a look on Vera down in towards turn number 1, but decides against it this time around too. It's a long race this time. Well, longer race this time.
Yeah, certainly. And Klaffenbroek there looking to try and make a move. Decides to back out of it, and I think that's probably the best course of action. Maybe try and make a move up here into turn number 4. There we go. It's a big send up the inside. Klaffenbroek going to find that gap and sweep it onto the apex. I think that Manuel Vera, though, will just about hold on. But yeah, Tim Yarshall and Lucas Muller have now made themselves in prime position to try and get involved with these 2 in the lead. And right now, if you're Isaac Price, you are the leader of the championship if you are to finish in 2nd position right now. Do you need to push and try and make a move and give the opportunity to the 2 other title protagonists in behind? As Lucas Muller's dropped back here. What's happened to Lucas Muller then? Has he just been... Oh, no, he's back up there, so that was a bit of an issue with the timing there. So Lucas Muller... Oh, no, he has dropped back. So Lucas Muller has ended up fighting a bit further backwards here, and Tim Yarshall all of a sudden is going to gain points on Lucas Muller, and more points lost then. Well, it's not quite lost yet, because the 2 BMWs are still in behind Muller. But yeah, right now, Isaac Price needs to just figure out, I don't need to fight here. I can maybe try and undercut and try and get Hasse that way. But if I was to finish 2nd right now, I do extend my championship, or I do indeed, yeah, it would be extending the championship lead because he's there on countback. So it's not a bad day for Isaac Price.
Absolutely, it's great stuff indeed. But you know, racing drivers, they want to go for race wins, and that's the attitude that Price will probably take as well. Meanwhile, this sort of trainer cars for P5 still continuing on here. Klaffenbroek made a very good pass on the last lap over Manuel Vera, so Vera sliding back a little bit here in the feature race, but still in a very respectable P6, especially considering his history throughout the series. As that would still be, if you look at it overall, a very, very good result there in P6. So not too many worries about him whatsoever. Meanwhile, further back, you got Gianmarco Fiducci involved with Peter Berliak here. Berliak on the outside in the R8G BMW, trying to commit and try to carry the momentum around the outside here, maintain the overlap to allow the inside for the sweeper, but that's just not going to happen, unfortunately, and Fiducci is able to hold on to this.
Yeah, Berliak not able to make the move there in a high-mo driver, holding on to what would be a P10. Yeah, as much as Vera's having a good race here, I think he's going to be in trouble, to be honest. He was the car in behind. He kept the foot down and spun the BMW in front. So I think that if that's looked into, we might see him either receive some penalty points or ultimately we've seen qualifying ban. As into the pits, we see some drivers come in very early here. So Vera's in early. Hold on. Yeah, who else is coming? There's a DTM Esports car as well. So Lucas Muller is going to try the undercut. This is going to hurt them later on in this race. I can tell you that right now. But this might catch the leaders out a little bit. I'm not sure I was expecting this. Well, I know I wasn't expecting this, to be honest. This is a very early stop here. And if you're Lucas Muller, I guess when you see Isaac Price out in the front with quite a considerable lead and you're involved in battling, it kind of makes sense to be aggressive because you really have to.
Well, it is Hasse that leads at the moment, and well, by 0.8 of a second. So he's been able to stretch out that gap over the last lap or so to make things a little bit more comfortable. But knowing that a couple of people come down in so early, does that change the equation, at least in terms of these front two's decision making here? Because maybe they can leave it go a lap or two, but at some point that track position is going to switch back into the favor of those that came down in just due to the undercut. So it's an interesting decision, these guys.
Yeah, I think they're far enough back. They're like 5 seconds back. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal, to be honest. I think if Yarshall was to have come in there, then they probably have to. And I'd be actually very surprised if to be fair, Isaac Price is covering them off. And Tim Yarshall, I think, probably would have done the opposite to what Isaac Price did there. Now he's got some clear air to sort of drive into. But yeah, Isaac Price has taken a bit of a chance, and Florian Hasse is going to try and eke this out. So this is really interesting. Normally we see the leaders of the race all wait as long as they can. But today we've seen a split. So some of the leaders have decided to stay out, and some of them have come in, which is fantastic for us. It just all depends now. Where does Isaac Price come out in terms of the pack? Where is Lucas Muller in all of this? That's the big question. He's got clear track in front of him. Who's in front of him? Berliak. Wow, Berliak is quite far up the road, isn't he? So yeah, actually, Isaac Price should come out ahead of these, and it actually becomes a very good decision.
Yeah, I mean, if he has the track position and the clear air, potentially this might work out in his favor. But again, we're sort of conjecturing at this point. We'll have to see what the results actually are. There's the group link cars coming down the pit straight. Price is going to come out well ahead of them, and is able to continue on. And most importantly, without anyone inside of his slipstream either.
No, he is golden here, and it'd be interesting to see whether he can close that gap up into Florian Hasse. Who does? I would imagine Florian Hasse completely covers this off straight away. He hasn't moved over to the right-hand side here yet, and yeah, he's opened up that corner, and he's staying out. Well, Tim Yarshall is also staying out. So, yeah, I wonder if Isaac Price is not going for broke here, but he's just trying to get into the lead and then defend from the front. It would kind of make sense for him to do that. I think this is very aggressive from him. I think it's very aggressive from Lucas Muller as well. I think Muller had to because he was involved in a fight that was just costing him so much time. There's Klaffenberg, who is one of those drivers he was involved with. So Lucas Muller's kind of had to do this. Isaac Price has, just I think thought outside the box a touch here. So, yeah, good stuff from him. Nice to see someone who's leading the championship. And to be fair, we forget Lucas Muller's tied in leading the championship as well. So the two championship leaders really trying to go aggressive, knowing that they're going to be slower at the end of the race, which is where it really will hurt them. So across the line we will go. Again, Isaac's going to be able to be clear of anybody that was anywhere near him. It's really about Lucas Muller here. Does Lucas Muller clear that R8G car? And I tell you what, this is going to be really, really tight. He's obviously going to be a bit more, quick through turn number one. But there is the inside line for that R8G car, and there is the R8G BMW. And in all fairness, Vera has cleared the R8G car as well, and they were battling side by side. So coming in early has paid off so far. So Florian Hasse might be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I'm keeping an eye. Well, we haven't got a representative lap time from Isaac Price just yet, because one was an in lap, one was an out lap. So it'll be the next one that's representative of his pace here to see if he is making any inroads into Florian Hasse here at the moment. Hasse is going very, very strong out there. 28.3 and another 28.3 as he heads his way across the line there. So consistently good lap times here from Hasse. Yarshall's not too far off those 28.3s as well. So looking good for the front too. It's just how is Isaac Price going to compare to those lap times? Is he making the inroads of a tenth or so of a second per lap to be able to make this look competitive?
Yeah, and I don't think his pit entry was that aggressive either. So he probably has a bit of time to catch up in that regard as well. He's coming up towards the end of this lap now, so we'll find out exactly what his lap time is. I'll hand over to Connery, who can give us that information.
Yeah, so he's heading his way up to the start-finish line now. So for reference, Florian Hasse has been doing sort of mid-28.3s. So that's the option. 28.568 there for Isaac Price, actually. So about 0.2 of a second slower than Hasse's lap time just now.
So, yeah, if Tim Yarshall is around that mark as well, is there a world where he closes that gap over the next few laps? And if he's really aggressive in terms of his pit entry, maybe he gets into the fight here with Isaac Price. So it's a very interesting 17 minutes, 40 seconds to go, as Yarshall is not pitting this time around. Bence Banky now in third position for Ducci, finds himself into fourth. Bo Dixon down in P22, I just saw there as well. I was hoping that he might stay out late and be in the lead of the race at some point. He did promise me that at some point he would lead a race in this championship, but it's not going to be today. Into the pits then for Gianmarco Fiducci. Is he joined by anybody else? Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like he's joined by anyone.
I love that purple livery. Like, I have a very, very big soft spot for purple liveries. It is my favorite color, and it's a very well-designed one on the part of Fiducci there.
William Chadwick will be extremely happy with you on that one.
I've commented on Will many times.
Yeah, he decides all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, no, he'll be extreme. He'll just be pleased. He'll just be very, very pleased. Someone else who's going to be pleased is Florian Hasse, who's now gapping Tim Yarshall. So he will be. By the end of today, will be third in the championship. He'll actually be closing the gap. And let's look at the point system, of course, once again. And if he was to finish first in this race, he would gain 6 on to Mr. Isaac Price. He would gain at least 10. Well, he'd actually gain 13 on to Lucas Muller. I think he'd only be 3 points behind Lucas Muller. I think he'd be then 7 points behind Isaac Price. I don't know if that makes sense.
All I'm hearing is a very close finale.
Yeah, mate, this last couple of races is going to be so interesting.
Yeah, that's crazy stuff. And Hasse, he's been going along very well. I mean, the last 3 or 4 lap times have all been 1:28.3 something, either 3.5 or 3.8. So he's been remarkably consistent here at the moment, and currently can't say the same for Isaac Price. It was a 1:28.694 there. So again, another 0.3 of a second, or well, the 2.5 of a second, taken out by Florian Hasse in this situation. So it seems like this strategy right now, at least with the pace differences between Price and Hasse, is not really working out in the favor of Price.
No, it certainly isn't, but it's working out in the favour of us as neutrals watching looking for the closest finale in DTM Esports history. So it's looking likely that is going to be the case as we're on board then with Marvin Mackenberg, and that is an old school livery that I was seeing 10 years ago in sim racing, and that's TX3. I was racing against them in Project Cars back in the day, and it's still the same colours, still the purple and green. A little bit different to what they looked like back in the day, but I remember racing against them all the way back on PlayStation 3.
We're getting sim racing retro now, aren't we? They're not just like real life retro liveries, it's like sim racing team retro liveries here, which is fantastic and sweeping around the outside. That does put Mackenberg offline there and has to take the off track and rejoins. But yeah, it's you know, it's great to see sort of, I guess, reminiscing about sim racing history, I suppose, with some of the livery inspirations.
No, that is true. It's nice to see that some just stay the same as well. It's yeah, it's nice to just look at a livery and go, yep, that's them.
Yeah.
You know, some are easier than others to be able to tell the difference. 30 minutes, 50 seconds left to go. We've got about 4 or 5 minutes left before the pit window closes, so Florian Hasse will have to bring the car in, so will Tim Yarshall. Lucas Muller lap time watch. Tim Yarshall, he's doing what lap times, Connery? And what about Lucas Muller?
Yarshall doing 128.3, low 128.3s. Actually, Hasse was in the 128.2s now, so he's just going even faster and faster. And Muller was doing 129.1 that last time, so not ideal one for Muller.
No, he's being held up here, so Lucas Muller is going to lose a big chunk of positions in this championship. This is a good day for Florian Hasse, who has really announced himself as a championship protagonist. And again, if he gets a half-decent BOP at Hockenheim, that's going to be very, very helpful. It really is going to come down to, you know, stronger car for the finale. The Porsche have had 4 rounds where they're probably the strongest car out there. This week is just a little bit different. So yeah, it's nice to see that does it indeed, like real GT racing, like DTM, it ebbs and flows. Different cars are different, you know, have got better pace at different circuits. As Tim Yarshall is into the pits. So Yarshall into the pits here. And where does Lucas Muller and indeed Manuel Vera come out behind him? Because I cannot see a world where they're ahead of him. And if they are, then, well, they've produced some magic somewhere that we do not understand. So where is Mr. Yarshall? Isaac Price, obviously just up the road a bit further ahead. Isaac Price has already gone by, yeah, quite significantly. And yeah, there we go. So, oh no, there we go. So yeah, Isaac Price comes out ahead, of course. But Tim Yarshall has closed the gap on Isaac Price. I think Hasse is still in the lead here, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, absolutely. I don't think on any lap Price has gained on Hasse, like since he's come down towards the pit lane.
Yeah, it's all about an aggressive pit entry. It's very easy to lose a second on pit entry by just being a bit too timid. So the pressure is on Hasse to make that real nice pit stop and ultimately pile that pressure back onto Isaac Price. And I think Hasse is into the pits. He is. So Hasse has finally decided to respond, and we will get a side-by-side. We will see exactly how this is going to play out. But now we're about to see all of our race potential winners move closer together. We think Florian Hasse is still in the lead of this race, and it's by about a second. There you go. He's up on his jacks. And there's Emre Cihan just in behind. So there is Tim Yarshall, of course, number 1 in his car. He is the reigning champ. As things have gone today, he's still got a chance, but it's a very slim chance going into the finale. It's actually going to be around about a sprint win difference. So you're expecting at least a DNF from one of our top drivers. So around the final corner we go. Florian Hasse has not got much of the pit lane to go. Did most of the work on the entry. And there we go, pit limiter off. There's Isaac Price. Of course, will be a lot faster around that first turn. And then Florian Hasse will get the power down, but will be a little bit tighter. But there is Isaac Price, and he's miles behind. Florian Hasse has played an absolute blinder here. Not only playing the blinder, he's played himself into the championship hunt.
Yeah, absolutely. We're looking at a very, very competitive final race meeting of the season at Hockenheim. That's looking to be an incredible stage for our finale. Between multiple drivers here. Usually coming into a final round of the season, it's pretty much practically done as far as DTM Esports history goes, but not this year. Let me tell you that. Multiple drivers have the chance to take the championship in the final round of the season. Obviously, this one isn't totally done yet. I mean, anything can happen in racing, but yeah, it's with a performance like this so far, Hasse is pretty much making sure that his is one of the names that could be a championship winner by the end of this.
100%. I'm going to let you carry on with a little bit of commentary here, because I'm going to do the live maths here, and I'm going to get this bang on for us all. So let me just do some live maths. Connery, give me 2 minutes, and I'm going to be back with some answers.
Florian Hasselen coming across the line. The rest of the drivers that have yet to pit have actually come down on towards the pit lane now. So that's Leonard Krippner, Ben Sabanki, Mackenberg involved in that one as well. They're just coming off of the pit lane now. So we'll have to see where they come out in relation to everyone else. Ben Sabanki might be filing out into a little bit of a battle pack here as we see Klaffenberg, and then may have Max Pfeiffer, his teammate, in behind there. Does Pfeiffer decide to capitalize on the opportunity or stick behind? No, it just gives him a little bit of a love tap, a little bit of a bump instead to potentially go after the R8G car of Klaffenberg, but no opportunity on the inside there. But further up forward through this field, of course, Vera's recovered back up into a P4, which again is a very, very good run for Vera. Muller in a solid points-paying position as well. He wants to try to maximize his effort here so that he has a bit of a better chance when it comes to the very final round of the season. But 5th place, you know, it's respectable, but would have hoped for a little bit more, shall we say. Further back, you have Gianmarco Fiducci embroiled in a bit of a battle with Pfeiffer ahead and Enzo Filipao behind. We actually hadn't talked much about Enzo Filipao, but he's managed to establish himself inside of the top 10 for this particular race, so he's going to be able to gain a boatload of points as a result of that if he finishes there.
Yeah, right, we've done some live maths, ladies and gentlemen. So right now, as it stands, Isaac Price would be leading the championship on 237 points. Lucas Muller would be second with 221, so it'd be a 16-point advantage going into the final race week. Again, is that 100% nailed? Yeah, it would be. So 16-point advantage. Then in third position is actually Florian Hassenau with 217 points. So he would be 20 points behind. And then we've got Tim Yarshall, who would be on 207, so moving down into 4th position. So coming into this race week, Florian Hasse was actually 27 points off of the championship lead. He's closed the gap to a different driver in Isaac Price, down to 20.
Yep, so within the realm of possibility, that's for certain. Anything can happen at Hockenheimring, especially as so much is on the line in amongst these drivers. They will not be giving each other a single inch when it comes to battles there. So that one's going to be very, very fun to watch indeed, especially if our championship runners are, well, close on track together.
No, exactly. It's yeah, we just hope that they all give their best account of themselves next week, but be interesting to talk to our top 3. You know, Hasse has obviously gained today. Tim Yarshall is the one who's lost out, and Isaac Price has taken the lead of the championship. So 3 different situations for 3 different drivers. So yeah, we'll get to speak to all of them after this race as well. We will do some interviews with them. We're on board with Fiducci. Fiducci is right bang in the middle of a cluster of 6 different cars here. We've got BMW, 2 Ferraris, or 3, 4, 5 Ferraris to be fair. There's no difference, there's only 2 different cars. But different teams, different drivers. But the lead is Florian Hasses, 1.8 seconds away from Isaac Price. Tim Yarshall is in 3rd position, and actually Tim looks like he's closing in on Isaac Price, so we'll keep an eye on that for certain. Manuel Vera then is in 4th spot. Again, I think he might be in a little bit of trouble after an issue with Klaffenberg earlier on. Lucas Muller is in 5th spot, and Lucas Muller, I think, needs to make a move here. This is the battle. I think Lucas Muller, if he can move up into 4th position, he's going to gain 3 extra points here, and that would then put him onto 224, and then the gap would only be 13. So right now it's 16. The difference between 13 and 16 is, of course, 3. So Lucas Muller, I think, probably will be thinking he has to make this move.
Yeah, I mean, it helps. It absolutely does help when it comes to that final race of the season. Of course, he might end up getting it anyway, you know, depending on what the stewards room decide with the Vera incident from earlier on, but you really want to be doing these things on track rather than hoping for a decision down from on high.
Yeah, of course. No, that is absolutely spot on. But it's going to be a bitter pill to swallow because currently, like I said, he's you know, going to be 16 points behind Isaac Price. He started the day 11 points clear of him. So the point swing is 27 points today. Isaac Price has had a very, very good day. And maybe it might be fair to say he's probably got one hand on the trophy as it stands, although anything can happen. Hockenheim is one of those circuits where it normally does. Up towards turn number 3 here at the Red Bull Ring. Lucas Muller keeping Manuel very, very honest, looking for him to just lock up somewhere, make a mistake. Ultimately, it looks like he's able to get the power down nice and early in that Porsche, but the top-end speed just isn't quite there against the BMW. It's better through the corners. The BMW is better in a straight line. That seems to be the case today. Lucas Müller will not try anything crazy. You know, the last thing he wants to do is try and make a move at the inside and spin the car and lose the points that he's got currently. But if an opportunity does present itself, expect him to make it stick.
Yeah, absolutely. Müller will absolutely 100% take any open door that Vera decides to leave here. That's for certain. It's a bit more of a struggle towards the end of these, towards the end of the straight in the Porsche over the BMW, but through sections like this is where the Porsche tends to shine, especially into those final 2 corners as well, where you can carry a bit more mid-corner speeds. Just the weight balance of that Porsche. But yeah, it's it is tricky actually trying to start these moves, not necessarily finish them if you're in the Porsche here.
Yeah, certainly. 3 minutes 30 seconds to go, so 3 laps to go of this feature race at the Red Bull Ring, and yeah, we were seeing him close up. Lucas Müller close up here. Wonder if we can have a little look at cockpit cam and see the difference in speed along this very long straight. That isn't straight, it is kinked. You just see not really closing up. Once they get out the first 3 gears, just not really closing up. Although, you know, the sharper gear, or the top end gears, yeah, it definitely is a bit of slipstream to work with. It's going to take the wide entry through, should get the power down nice and early compared to that BMW. Going through there in a very high gear again, just to help traction on the exit, is to not light up the rear wheels. Down in towards turn number 4. Is there going to be a potential fake here? No, there isn't. And the brakes a little bit later than the BMW. Bit of a lock up there from the front right of the BMW. And Lucas has just got to keep this pressure on. 2.5 laps of pressure on someone like Manuel Vera, who isn't used to being in this position, remember. He's got to play on that. Manuel Vera is not used to being in this position. He did very well to get a podium in the first race. But is this a race too far for him? And again, he's shown no evidence that he will give that up. Well, I just say that. He misses the apex ever so slightly there, but he will get away with that. And Muller's been here before, so he's got to try and force a mistake here from Vera as we come towards those final couple of corners. And there is a mistake, big slide of the rear, and yeah, I think Lucas Müller will fancy his chances here. That's 3 corners in a row where it's just not been perfect from that BMW, and the gap is as close as it's ever been.
It is. Just reeling him in closer and closer. If Müller gets a good exit here out of 1, that might open up the opportunity into the braking zone at the end of the straight. You've got to be careful with those curbs on the left-hand side there. They're a bit of a menace in the real world, and the same here in RaceRoom as well. As Müller is not going to get the overrun, forces Vera to go defensive anyway. So Vera feeling the pressure at this stage. Müller just drags it in on the brakes there, makes it close coming off the corner.
Yeah, he's defending fresh air there, so that is the pressure effect. He's gone defensive, didn't need to. I don't think Lucas was ever going to be sending it there. In all fairness, he was far too far back, but now he is very, very much underneath that rear wing of the BMW. I think next time around, you'll see Lucas really force the issue around turn number 1. He'll try and flirt with the track limits there to try and gain a bit of an advantage. But Manuel Vera is, at the moment, he is even to it. He's not flinching right now. The lead is Florian Hassel, Isaac Price, Yarshall as your top 3. But this is a key battle for our championship. This is a difference between Isaac Price being 16 points clear and being 13 points clear. If Lucas Müller can make 1 more overtake, he would close the lead going into the final 2 races.
Absolutely, it's a close run thing behind as well. Look at this, between Klaffenbuck and Barnke on the way down in towards the final 2 corners there. Very, very close indeed between those 2 there as well. But as we head our way across the line, of course, this is the start of the final lap for these guys. Manuel Vera having to defend. There we go.
There's the move there for, I tell you what, Manuel Vera is so nice to him there. Do you know what? Fair play to Manuel Vera. I think he's looked at that and gone, I'm not fighting for a championship here. Lucas Müller is fighting for a championship. If I fight this too hard, there is a potential that there is a contact here. And actually, he might completely throw my statement away because he's fighting back here. He's fighting back for that potential top 4. Maybe he feels like the power of that BMW will reign supreme. He gets the power down, snakes there, the front of the car. And then, yeah, he is going to fight this. Lucas Müller then under some severe pressure has got his car into 4th position, which is the key factor. He will have the inside line running down towards turn number 4. Manuel Vera pulls completely alongside. Lucas Müller turns it as late as he possibly can. Really good race management there from Lucas Müller. Again, perfect defense. Manuel Vera made it relatively easy, and actually he's forced Lucas Muller now to be defensive on the double left-hander. There's contact between both of them, and it looks like Manuel Vera is not going to be able to get the better of him as we go on towards our race leader. Florian Hasse has not put a foot wrong in this race. He looks super, super strong there. Lucas Muller sliding the car as he comes up towards the final couple of corners. Florian Hasse has had an unbelievable day here, ladies and gentlemen, and actually, he's in the title hunt. He is absolutely in a title hunt with this performance today. Not much emotion on his face, wiping the sweat off of his brow, but Florian Hasse has a genuine chance. Fastest lap, by the way, was Florian Hasse as well. Lucas Muller, though, how important will those 3 points be heading into next week's finale? The gap would have been 16 points if he stayed 5th, but it was now, because he finished in 4th, down to 13. Has lost the championship lead, but fought hard right until the very end. Oh, what a race. What a story this championship is. Oh boy, we are in for an absolute world-class finale.
We absolutely are. I certainly can't wait for it. It's insane how we have things so close coming towards the end of the season. Of course, 18th of July, the finale at the Hockenheimring, and it's going to be a fun one. That is for certain. But we'll go through our race results here for the feature race of the race at the Red Bull Ring.
Florian Hasse in P1 has now put himself in the championship contention. Isaac Price is in 2nd. Tim Yarshall in 3rd. He may have played himself out of the championship contention, but it is Tim Yarshall. You never know. Lucas Muller in 4th position with that move at the end there on that final lap. Ooh, how important will those 3 points be? Manuel Vera is in 5th. Klaffenberg in 6th. Benz Banki in 7th. Gianmarco Finucci in 8th. And then we've got Max Pfeiffer in 9th position. Enzo Filipao in 10th, Christian Juhas in 11th, Leonard Krippner in 12th, we've got Neg in 13th, Turk Hacken in 14th, Christian Michel in 15th, 16th then for Ottaviani, Julian Kunze is in 17th, 18th then for Berliak, and then Emre Cihan is in 19th position. And then we've got Bo Dixon in 20th spot. Sorry, I've just realised you sent me a message earlier on, Connery, and I've only just got it. So, yeah, sorry about that. Ilya Drofozikov is in 21st, Kaj de Bruin in 22nd, Lloyd Podolf in 23rd, Marvin Mackenberg 24th, Luciano Whitver is in 25th, Roland Sens 26th, and Dika Ramat Maulana in 27th, Jari in 28th, Vil Craivi in 29th, and then Leonard Carton in 30th position. Oh boy. This has set us up beautifully well for the finale. I've done the maths. We'll talk to some of the drivers if they do indeed join the RaceRoom Discord. I would even invite, if Lucas Muller's watching, I would imagine he's watching the German broadcast in all fairness, but I'd even like to get him involved because I want to hear from the top 4 going into the finale. So let's just wait there. But Connery, normally, by this point in the season, we kind of know who's going to be champion. That is absolutely not the case this year.
No, absolutely not. And, that's just the way we like it, isn't it? It's there's none of this, it's mathematically done now, so therefore we don't really care about this final race and whatever. That's simply the opposite for this 2025 season of the DTM Esports Championship. It's going to be an absolutely titanic fight amongst all of the drivers involved. They're going to put in a ton of preparation in between now and the event at Hockenheim. There's going to be hundreds, if not thousands, of practice laps going on to try and make sure they are zoned in and making sure that they've got they're ready. Both, mentally for the event as well as practically in terms of the practice.
Yeah, we didn't give Florian much. We didn't give Florian much of a notice there. We just dragged him in. But Florian Hasse, DTM race winner today, and. Well, welcome to the championship hunt. Next round is going to be very interesting because you are now in and amongst it with that T-shirt rolled up as high as it possibly can go. Congratulations, mate.
Yeah, thank you. It's so hot in here. It's so humid. I was sweating like hell today. Yeah.
That gives you a genuine opportunity now, right? That's you've done what you've needed to do to give yourself a chance in the finale.
Yeah, I mean, it was almost a perfect event for me, but like, I mean, I'm also fighting Isaac in the championship now, and this first race was a bit unfortunate because I was thinking in the first couple of laps that I was having a chance to get him, but I also had the BMW behind me, and like these two cars have such a straight line speed that I was trying to stick with Isaac and hope for the end, and then yeah, I was doing a small mistake in the penultimate corner, hit the gravel, and yeah, and then Isaac was gone. So it's a bit unfortunate because that's like 8 points in the championship, and yeah, I won't I won't get many chances like today, I guess.
No, you came into today 27 points off of the championship lead. I've done some live maths. I don't know whether you've found out exactly what the state of play is, and by God, I can be wrong. Let's get that straight. But I believe you are now 20 points behind Isaac going into the finale. So you've closed the gap by 7 points. You were behind Lucas, obviously, coming into, or 27 points behind Lucas, but now you're 20 points behind Isaac. So yeah, fair play, mate. That's all you can do today, right? Was perform as best as you can and just hope you had an opportunity going into the final week.
Yeah, I was glad to have a fast car today. I mean, as I said, the straight line speed was not there, but yeah, the performance all around was super good today. Yeah.
Nice one, mate. Well, congratulations, bud. Enjoy your weekend. Go and get cool, and we'll see you at the finale at Hockenheim.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, Tim has just disappeared. He's doing the interview for the German. I might just drag him in. I'm just dragging Tim in regardless. Sorry, Tim. I know you're waiting for the German stream, mate, but I'm dragging you here because we're ready for you. How you doing, mate? First and foremost, hope you're well.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Gonna be tough in the finale for you, isn't it, to retain your championship? But at least you still have a chance.
Yeah, the chance is there, but could be difficult. Yeah, today I maxed out my results. I think more was not possible, and yeah, let's see for last round what happened. No?
Is this the toughest field you faced in DTM Esports?
No, I would say last year was harder. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Connery, over to you. Controversial.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, obviously, this is putting you in a position where potentially mathematically you could be involved in the championship towards the towards the end. Is it still going to be a very tough challenge from this point, or are you just going to take the race as it comes for next race?
Yeah, the chance is small, but yeah, I will give everything, and yeah, let's see what happened in the last 2 races. No, chance is there, but yeah, let's see.
We will see,
mate. Well, regardless of what happens next time out, you've been a fantastic champion, and you've defended your crown very valiantly this time. But like I said, it isn't over. You still got 1 more race week to go, mate, and you never know what can happen. It's Hockenheim after all. Anything can happen, and it bloody well normally does.
Yeah, that's right. We will see.
Cool, mate. Enjoy your weekend. See you later.
Yeah, thanks. Bye-bye.
Right, let's bring the championship leader. Finished second today in race number 2, finished first in race number 1. Isaac Price, you are leading the championship now by 13 points going into the final round. Pretty much a perfect week, right?
Yeah, I mean, could have maybe got the win in the second race. Yeah, I made a couple of mistakes in the race, just a little bit uncomfortable in the dirty air following, because also probably my car's not quite as quick in sector 3. It's good in sector 1 and 2. So you then get sucked in a little bit fast into the last sector. And yeah, I went a little bit wide at some point and lost half a second. And then I was pushing to catch up after I pitted. And yeah, I ran over kind of a sawtooth curve on the outside and picked up some damage. So I had to kind of regroup and readjust my goals and understand that winning wasn't going to be possible, and just maximize what was still available then and at least get P2.
Let's talk hypotheticals here. I've put you on put you on a spot a touch because you've just finished a race and you're probably all hot and sweaty. What 2 results do you need in the final round to be DTM Esports champion?
I mean, probably 2 second places, but it's honestly impossible to say because there were so big swings in performance between the cars this season. Like, there's been a couple of races where probably I could be 2-3 tenths a lap faster in other cars, and then here there's a big swing again as well. So it's yeah, it's hard to really know. Like, I might look back and think I didn't do enough today to win the championship, even though I finished first and second. So it's it's hard to really know. I think the important thing is just to always stay calm and maximize what's possible in each situation, because you don't know what's going to happen and you can't control what's out of your own hands. So you just got to do the best you can yourself.
No, fair play. Well, congratulations, mate. You are the championship leader going into the finale. It looks like we are going to have a 4th different winner in 4 seasons of the championship. And I wish you the very best of luck. Enjoy your weekend, bud.
Don't rule out Tim yet.
Well, no, he is mathematically, but it's with the way you've all performed at the front, it's very, very difficult.
We'll see. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, congrats, mate. Oh, there we go, Connery. It is a beautiful day in DTM Esports. It's the closest finale we're ever going to have. Again, let me just do some maths for you live here, ladies and gentle cars. So I believe Isaac's leading the championship with 237. Lucas Muller is second with 224, so a 13-point advantage. Then it will be Florian on 217, and then Tim on 207. So, yeah, it is a 30-point gap between 4th to 1st, and those are going to be our title protagonists going into, if we check out the calendar, Hockenheim as our finale. Oh.
Absolutely. What a venue for to have this finale as well. I know we've had it pretty much every time as finale, but the but there's but obviously track holds a lot of history, massive importance, not just in German racing as a whole, but sort of internationally. Such a fantastic circuit, and for it to play host to our finale is great. But we have to wait for a bit for it to happen. 18th of July.
Yes.
Unfortunately, so it's another 3 weeks for us to have to wait until we get the opportunity to crown a champion here. And I don't know what you're doing across that week, Luke, because I work in an educational establishment. We're on summer break, so I'm not doing much.
Yeah, right. I'm
from DTM Esports.
I have children, so quite the opposite for me. They'll be at home. Oh, there we go. Connery, we're done for round number 5. We head to the finale in round number 6. So make sure you join us then, ladies and gentlemen, where we have a finale between 4 different drivers. Oh, see you at Hockenheim. Have a good night.